Welcome to 155, a podcast about punk songs. My name is Josiah Hughes.
And I'm Sam Sutherland, and this week we're talking about Burnout, the opening track from Green Day's The Key, released in 1994 on Reprise Records.
It really was the key to a whole generation of punk music.
That was good. That was really good.
But first, just go to patreon.com/155pod. Put your money in there. Just put a $5 bill into the computer if you're American. If you're Canadian, I think it's about a $7 bill. And once a month, just put that money into the computer, and then you'll get all kinds of shit. And it's so much shit to explain. But you know what? You're going to want all of that stuff. And just that's all that's all we need this week.
I was like, I'm going to try to write it out so it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to try to read that?
And then you had to call in sick to work today. I think those two things are related.
Those things are, you know what, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe what you did is fine.
I think it's good enough. There's, you'll figure it out. There's a whole bunch of shit. And if you don't put the $5 bill into the computer, you're going to miss out. And you're going to seem like a fucking loser. So Sam,
that's going to suck.
What do you think about this? I mean, I'm worried about this week that we're just going to be doing like Blink-155 style. Like, it's so sick. But also we could do that. Like, do you want to just call it sick a million times? Because it is.
I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I don't think that this song is good.
Oh,
I think this song is great.
Oh my god! Phew! I was worried. I know. For a second.
I don't like this song. I love it.
Oh, phew!
I know. It's just sort of like a little bit of a setup, create tension.
Just doing children's television now, basically.
Just doing my tribute to 40cc.
I don't know. Can you talk about this song? You mean I talk about this song? Oh, actually, Green May is what I do want to say. It is Green May also, in case somehow you're trying to figure. Maybe you only listened to the Crass episode of the show and you're back and you're trying to figure out why we keep talking about Green Day. It's because of Green May right now.
Yeah, eventually we'll be off of it, but for at least the next 2 weeks after this, we're further exploring the mystic and the majesty of this band. This is, I would say, in my top 5 Green Day songs, which are probably all from Dookie, which is to say, I think this is one of the 5 best songs on Dookie. And I think it's like an unbelievably sick way to open an album. It just like fills me with like the same joy and energy listening to it now that it filled me with as a kid in the 4th grade listening to it at a skating rink, which we talk about in our exclusive from a couple of weeks ago. Like, yes. I think this is the perfect way to open what is a perfect album. And so, yes, we are just going to go back and forth with each other talking about how sick this song is and the different ways in which it's sick. But I think that this song is deserving of that level of just uncritical thought.
I agree.
Yes,
it's true.
Now, would you like to speak on it?
I think I'd like to speak the opening drums because I love the little and he says, "I declare" while it's happening. And it's the kind of thing that I almost feel like you want to try to do it on your desk and sing along and hit the desk like it's drums. But it's kind of like, what's the things that are hard to do? Like, I was going to say chewing gum and walking at the same time, but that's pretty easy. But like rubbing your tummy and tapping your head or those kind of things.
People do say it's hard to chew gum and walk at the same time if you're slow. That's but yeah, definitely doing I'm trying to do it right now. Tapping your head and rubbing. Oh, I can do that. I can do this and podcast.
What are all the things? What are the things? Gifted? What are the things that you can't do? Am I integer?
the perfection of the fill, which for some reason I got really mad about this in trying to look up stuff about this song. There's like a NME article about the best Green Day songs, and they obviously include this as just.
Well, when it comes to Green Day, you got to know your enemy.
Oh, damn. That was good. But where they erroneously call it a triplet intro, which it's not, right? It's just the first 3 notes of the 16th notes or whatever. I mean,
I think isn't it missing?
This isn't a music theory podcast.
Isn't it missing it's the latter 3/4 of the bar?
Yeah. Because it's not. Wait, the ladder?
Isn't it missing the one? It's like not. It's not.
No, because I'm like that would sound ding. No, because there's a break. Bing.
I'm pretty sure.
1 and 2 and bing.
1
and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 3 4. This is a music theory podcast, and that's why people come to us. But it's such a like.
I mean, it
it's
is. It's just our theories are too wild for.
That's it. Our theories can't be contained. It's thinking about it as a triplet intro instead, like a I declare I don't care. And then it just becomes like a new pornographer song in my mind. So I've really been thinking about how sick it would be if this song was like a shuffle, like a real classic new pornos rock shuffle.
True. That is true. But yeah, I don't know. Opening with the fill and that singing is like, I honestly feel like if I was in a band like this, I would fuck that up immediately. Right there, I would be already too disoriented to be able to say, I declare I don't care no more at the correct time.
Right. You would just be totally already swimming in space.
It's like to me, this is basically a Dillinger Escape Plan song, essentially.
Like what? How many time signatures are going on here?
This is literally calculating infinity to me.
Yeah, this is actually the original mathcore. This is also this is gent also. This is
I'm so happy you said degent because I mentioned int earlier, which is something I don't really know what it means. I guess it's a personality type, but I always think of int and degent at the same time, and I would love to if someone started an int gent band. I think that'd be really cool.
Well, you never know. Maybe next week you might just get your wish.
I'm really hoping.
But you're going to have to explain in your cover submission what inch is, just to make sure that everyone gets the joke.
And gent, I guess, and maybe play a djembe.
Well, gent
on
we
it.
know because gent sounds like Burnout.
It's true.
This is like the first song on like the big sellout album. And it's funny, you know. Maybe we'll end up talking about this with our guests. You know, they're sort of sitting quietly right now, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we won't make them wait too long. Is like, you know,
that wasn't an invitation to speak. Please, we're still talking.
Sorry, yeah, this is still host time. You know, this is the record that gets this band banned from Gilman. And it's not like it opens up and all of a sudden it's like a John Feldman album. It's amazing how like just like band in a room this sounds like. It reminds me a lot of sort of what you and I obsessed about around Dude Ranch.
But I kind of think, you know, that's a funny thing to say because I think that those things are all incremental. And I bet you at the time it did sound like a John Feldman album because I remember when Enema of the State came out thinking that it sounded disgustingly clean. And then obviously going back now, it sounds like Discharge to me. So it kind of does. Maybe at the time people did think it sounded disgustingly clean. Maybe it's because of the elaborate and overly complex sort of Terry Bozzio caliber drum clinic fill that it opens with. People were just like, good Lord, get out of here, Dream Theater, you know?
Well, it's hard to say because just looking up like rock albums 1994, which is sort of the level of research that you know I like to contribute to this podcast. It's hard to say because like the super slick version of like pop rock hadn't arrived yet, and is that a technical, like is that a literal sort of production and engineering evolution of what mainstream rock music sounds like, or is it a function of just like what was kind of trendy at that time? Because the other big albums of '94 were Super Unknown, Vitalogy, Downward Spiral, Live Through This, Definitely Maybe, Purple by Stone Temple Pilots, you know, Monster, Parklife, the self-titled Weezer album, the Blue Album. You know, maybe you're right. Like none of these things have like, it's not like there's like quote unquote like shiny overproduced rock music happening at this time.
Yeah.
So is that exactly what this is, I guess?
Maybe. I mean, like I said, it doesn't sound shiny at all anymore. It sounds like fucking dog shit to me, and I hate this song. But
yeah, good.
I did.
That's right.
I don't know. Maybe this will help.
In opposition.
Let's listen to I found a demo of it from. I can't like the problem with Green Day is the opposite of the problem with Blink-182 is like such low culture to everyone that everyone hates it so much that they would never bother archiving it. Whereas Green Day is almost too archived. So I found the demo, and then I found another version of the demo that had some overdubs added a year later. And then I found another demo that I think is just the original recording with like scratches added to it. So this is what I think is the original demo. It has a picture of a tape that says,
"Oh, I'm convinced."
Green Day, Dookie. and it says that it was recorded at Art of Ears in 1993. So let's check this out and see how this sounds. Fucking Watch Together fucking me on the fill. Come on, Watch Together. There we go.
I mean, it sounds like a tape. I think it's a thing.
So it says it was recorded in 1992, but then somewhere else it said 93. I don't know. This is so sick, though.
It's so good.
And actually, like, it is the kind of song that feels like it could. It's a little bit slower here, and I feel like it works really well.
It totally does.
Oh, I love that it cuts in and out with the left and right channel.
I just can't imagine writing such a perfect song.
It's
It's just crazy that they were just writing these songs. Like, this is like normal people wrote this song.
But that's
They recorded it in 92.
That's the curse of having this kind of perfection early on, is that then they end up writing like the entire trilogy or whatever, because they're trying to recapture this.
Oh my God.
And also, okay, this part, I think, I'm sure they did stuff like this before that I'm not remembering, but to have this like egregious Keith Moon, the Who part, that probably would piss people off. Like, that's like some rock star shit.
It's pretty funny. I also love how, like, you can hear some of it in there, but again, the actual like full album version, all of those fills are like standalone hooks.
It's true.
Oh my God.
Whoa. That little echo.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun.
Fuck.
Also, like I've had American Idiot in my head kind of endlessly torturing me for the last week because of last week's episode, and then I listened to the compilation on Bandcamp, and then we talked about Canadian Idiot for a bonus episode. So it's been kind of like that riff, which I still really don't like, has been stuck in my head forever. But then on this song, they kind of do some similar like choppy pentatonic scale chord progression shit that they totally nail. And I think it's because the rest of the song is like, could feasibly work as an indie pop song, but then they're just throwing in these like choppy rockin' parts as like a flavor instead of building a song around it.
Yeah, they love to chop and rock, but tastefully in this era.
Yeah, and that's why it works.
It is like this collision of, I mean, around the time that this band got so insufferable, like the sort of post American Idiot bloat of like 21st Century Breakdown and everything that kind of came after that, and it felt like in interviews you'd see Billy Joe Armstrong talking about how like I only ever, like, my favorite bands were just like the Beatles and the Clash. That's all I ever wanted to do, and like, so this is just more, people want this one thing from us, but I'm inspired by John Lennon. It was just like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, please shut the fuck up and just be more inspired by early Clash, I guess. But like, going back in a more thoughtful way and like looking at the records that you do like with this prism of like, this is someone who I feel like so deeply understood like really simple and perfect pop songwriting completely outside of like a power pop or a pop punk or a punk kind of foundation, and then just like puts it into this like incredibly specific format. It's just like incredible to hear it be that developed in 1992 when you're like 20 and be writing songs that like are like straight up like, this is as good of a song as anything the Beatles wrote. And I'm not even like trying to be like dumb and incendiary or like too much of a homer. Like, I don't think Blink have songs like, have songs that are better than the Beatles, but I genuinely think that like this is one of the Green Day songs that is like superior to anything that gets held up as like a standard of like perfection in songwriting.
I think you're totally right. And I think what you just described is, to me, it's not that surprising that they did this when they were so young, because it's just that they were always going to be sick as all hell, and they're operating as much on instinct as they are on skill at this point. Whereas as you get older, your instincts get kind of maybe overshadowed, or you lose touch with them. But this is just like someone who sounds like they don't give a fuck, and as a result, they're doing what comes naturally to them, which is just kind of like perfectly marrying classic rock with punk music and pop in a way that is like impossible to almost even describe.
Yeah. And again, like on this demo, you just like hear how perfect, the interplay is between them as a trio. Like the way that for the most part, Trey Cool does like pretty standard issue shit until getting to do the big dumb Neil Peart, Keith Moon parts. And they're again, like in and of themselves, hooks like that, blah, 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 blah. Like all those things are like etched in your mind. Like, like every great drummer who like understands drumming as like a truly musical instrument, beyond, like that you can like write melodies and hooks on. And then again, like same thing, like with Mike Dirnt, you have this like mostly kind of following, the route and like just being like a sort of solid, again, foundational punk bassist. And then like from time to time, just doing those things that then pop and like, again, create like another hook in the song where he's like going up and there's like a counter melody happening. It's just like, it's fucking astonishing.
Yeah, I agree. It is almost upsetting how perfect it is. And I think on that note,
yeah, now I'm annoyed about it.
Maybe we should just think about the lyrics a little bit, because I do think that like you said, I don't know if I've ever like sat down and read these lyrics, but even just glancing at them right now, I'm like, okay, these are kind of incredible. Like they're just kind of like beyond. Like, I declare I don't care no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out, boring room. My hair is shagging in my eyes, dragging my feet to hit the street tonight, drive along these shit town lights. Like, not to sound like an old guy, but every song that has been written since this song has been trying to be this song and failing.
Yeah. Like every just like, damn, I'm going nowhere and like this town sucks, like pop punk song is sort of puttering in the shadows of this.
Yeah.
Like it's so, I similarly like never really, because you learn these songs when you're so young that like the lyrics are like cool, but it's very abstract, and then you just know them. Like you're never learning them.
I also never like, I never remember lyrics at all. Like Sarah's the kind of person who can hear a song once, and while she's hearing it for the first time, she knows all the lyrics, but she'll sing along for the last 40 seconds. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? I don't remember any. I just know this song is like, I declare I don't care no more. That's all I know. So
this is definitely like all of this album is also something that, even though like I had the CD and had the liner notes, like you spend so much time out listening to it, and it's so much of your experience with it is like walking around like your neighborhood or like being on the bus or whatever, that you're not like constantly referencing the lyrics. Like later on, I feel like you'd have albums like that where you like listen to them in your bedroom and you like pour over the lyrics, so you know everything. But this was like a being out in the world album. Yeah. And as a result, I feel like I know all of the lyrics to this whole album front to back by heart, and I would say 70% of what I know is not correct. Like it's just what my brain did and filled in. Like I had that experience because I recorded the cover of Having a Blast last summer to entertain myself, and I was like, oh wow. And I had this experience again doing this where I was like, right. But like I knew, quote unquote, knew all these lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you actually see them and you're like, how are they so fucking good?
Yeah, like even just as a piece of writing, it's kind of perfect. It's very irritating, but you described it as being out in the world. This is a terrible thing to mention right now, but in my review of the new Greta Van Fleet album, which I genuinely, sincerely engaged with the new Greta Van Fleet album because I wanted to see if I could grow to like it, and I really did. And people were quoting my review because obviously when I like something, I'm even more mean to it, I think. But I described one of the songs as being like walking around music, and people were like, oh, I think my friend Matt Ritchie, shout out to Matt Ritchie, respect, but he was like, oh, I love how you called this walking around music, and it's something that I keep thinking about as a thing, and I feel like this whole album is walking around music. Even just you think of the When I Come Around video and how they're just like walking around being the coolest guys ever, and this song it just feels like something you'd put on and just get lost in your own world and walk around, and then the whole city around you comes to life, and you just kind of look at everything and think about the meaning of it all, or the meaningless. It makes you kind of romanticize boredom in a way too.
Yeah, yeah. I also had like, again, this does feel like there's this like, it's going out in the world music. On Saturday of this week before we recorded, I had an opportunity to go out and like get vaxxed early. And so like Ashley and I got in our car and we drove out to the Woodbine racetrack in Etobicoke. So like literally like a racetrack with a casino in it to get jabbed, which is like the perfect post-apocalyptic.
Did you accidentally get a horse vaccine?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually why I've been so fucked up by it. Like we've pushed recording this podcast by a couple of days because I was like too fucked up from the horse tranquilizers that were injected into me instead of the 5G, that I just wasn't able to do the show. And I even still, like, I can hear it in my voice and brain. Like I feel like
you're turning into a horse. This is like the end of
no spoilers, but if you know a movie where people turn into horses, that's what we're talking about. Of course, is it Dumbo where they turn into donkeys?
I was trying to think of a good joke that it could have been instead of the spoilery movie, which stars a cannibal allegedly. Kind of cool.
Oh damn, that's right. A lot of fucked up shit in that movie, but the point is like we got in our car and it was like that energy, like holy shit, like, you know, for people who don't realize this, like in Canada the vaccination efforts are like well behind where they are.
We're fucking it up so bad.
We're fucking it up so bad. It's been like very dispiriting.
Make Trudeau a drama teacher again, as my
like
friend
we've been
Larry said.
We have like in Toronto, because I think technically yours started maybe a bit later. We're basically in the longest lockdown in North America up here. So it's like things fucking suck ass and everyone is losing their minds and people are still getting sick and dying and it's horrible. But it was like, okay, we're fucking going and we're getting vaxxed and put on Dookie. And it was like this like driving, like the weather was okay. It was like windows down, like driving out to the suburb that we're both from to like go get vaccinated, like listening to this song, listening to Dookie, and you're just like, there's a continuum in your life where you're like, this is the sort of shit where like whenever you're going out, the sun is out, you're going to like meet up with your friends, you know, you're going to graduate from grade 5 or whatever, like you can listen to this and it has that like going on an adventure propulsion that is same when you're in the 4th grade as when you're 36, right?
It's true. I mean, I'm only 35, so I don't know. But I do have to level with you. I also listened to Dookie this week, and this song definitely had that same feeling. And a lot of the singles did, but I actually think I might have worn this album out in my life, maybe.
Really?
Like I'm starting, it just, not in a bad...
I mean, I don't put this on casually. This was like, we're going out, this is a special time.
Yeah.
Plus it's Green May, you know?
It kind of just like disappears into the background, but not in a bad way, just in a way where maybe it's just like so part of the fiber of, you know, our generation that it's just kind of, it's easy to forget. But then songs like Burnout absolutely pull you into it because it's just so incredibly done. Like, I just can't believe how perfect it is. And I also love, he says, I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out. Okay, first of all, because I never read the lyric sheet, another thing I always mumbled, I didn't realize he was saying I'm just burning out. And even the detail of having the phrase
Wait,
burning.
What did you think he was saying?
I always just kind of was like, I'm not growing up, I'm just... like I just didn't know.
It's
just
the title of the song.
I just kind of do Simlish.
Like, wow, it's like the part of the song that's like pretty easy to from context clues.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of interesting to change the conjugation of a verb or the tense of a verb when it's when it's the title, and then you change it. That's kind of a cool vibe that doesn't happen very often. You know, that's
interesting. That's exciting. Well, look at what we're learning about language and Green Day.
Exactly. But then he says, "I step in line to walk amongst the dead." So kind of like maybe the vibe was there when we did the Wake the Dead episode recently, and kind of been all these themes popping up. And the other thing I got to say, talking about Green May, Pod Magic, all these things. You know, I haven't mentioned Pod Magic yet, but we all felt it. Right? I mean, it's here.
Oh, yeah.
The Pod Magic's here. But I watched the Sasquatch movie on Crave.
I watched the Sasquatch movie in like a day because I've been sick.
Did you like it?
I fucking loved it.
That guy is so cool. That main guy
is very cool.
He's so
reminded
chill.
Me of but he reminded me of like getting into like sort of proto Vice like, or even concurring with Vice, but like gonzo journalism stuff. Like I've never really, like I got into Hunter Thompson late, but like when I did, I was like obsessed with it and read everything. And then
I've still never gotten into Hunter Thompson because it just makes me think of cringe, hashtag party like a journalist.
It's one of those, like, I get it, like, but I mean, it's fantastic writing. And I mean, I'm not here to this. I'm not going to change your mind, and no one wants to hear me talk about
change
it.
Change my mind.
You know, Evan Wright, you know, who did Generation Kill, but like, you know, wrote a lot of like amazing. It reminded me of like being so into like that kind of journalism, and that's like what he does, right? Where, you know, he's like, I you know, infiltrated, you know, hate groups and, you know, biker gangs and shit. Like he just seems like a really like cool.
He's so laid back.
He reminded me of being like, yo, some journalists are cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You and the guy from Sasquatch.
But anyways,
there's some pod magic in that show.
There's some pod magic because, I mean, I also almost didn't watch it because I saw it was produced by fucking Duplass, who I'm done with those fucking nerds. But thankfully, it's not very Duplassy. But
yeah.
Wow, imagine a parody, because we just did the parody episode. Imagine a parody of Du Hast called Duplass. Oh. Duplassy. But there's, you know, they're talking, you know, because what I'm about to say, but they're talking about all the people who.
It's shocking. Even though you had told me, I literally went, what? Like I reacted audibly when he appeared on screen.
Because I'm also not much of a nerd about this specific person who I've not name dropped yet. So I recognized the name and I was like, why does this guy look so fucking familiar? And then I looked it up after and I was like, oh my God, it's all happening. Yeah. But for some reason that they don't really explain. But for some reason, Larry Livermore of Lookout Records is in this Sasquatch movie to talk about like a hippie commune that he lived in.
But as a Back to the Lander, and they literally just like they shoot him, and it's the same way. Like, I mean, if you ever see a documentary that's about a band that he has any kind of, like, he's sort of like a lesser Ian MacKaye, and that I feel like he's in a large percentage of the documentaries that I've seen. But there's no, like, some people get keyed with like a few things, you know, they're like this and that, this and that. He is just keyed as like Larry Livermore Back to the Lander, and they never acknowledge that he's like basically responsible for Green Day's career.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all happening. Really, is I guess the point there. But you've made a note here of the. I guess this is. I thought it was going to be from songmeanings.net or whatever, but this is from Geek Stink Breath. This is straight from the source, basically. Geek Stink.
This is like definitely from what looks to be an extremely 2000s fan page.
Yeah, it does have like Web 2.0 energy, like the sort of youth large printed down the side kind of thing. But so they've written down the song meaning on Geek Stink Breath. It's really hard to say that out loud.
Geek Stink Breath.
.net.
Yeah, that's the .net is what really trips you up.
In this song, the narrator is describing his apathetic state and his lack of interest in anything at all. He declares that he doesn't care about anything anymore. He has no purpose and no will. His life has no meaning, and he steps in line to walk amongst the dead. The song is often seen as a description of life in punk style. In punk style. That's so sick.
It reminds me of, like, you know, there's like, you know, the Ani DeFranco live album Living in Clip. Like, it's such a like weird rearrangement of words.
It seems like it'd be on like a Japanese D Beat shirt. Life in punk style, like that band Fuck on the Beach or something. I guess it's Power Violence more.
It's like my lifestyle determines my death style. Like my songmeanings.net style determines my punk style.
Aside from being an ode to indifference, this song could also be considered an expression of frustration associated with growing up. The narrator shows his desire to never grow up but stay young and immature forever, protecting himself from the pressures of the adult world. He kills his misery in constant intoxication, which causes the rain of apathy to get him closer and closer to drowning, but he doesn't mind because he would rather drown in apathy than face real life.
Here's what I love about this is, I mean, it's great, but they basically like rearranged, like it feels like something where you had to get an assignment in, and so you like copy and paste something, but you just rearrange all the words, so it's not technically copying. It's not, what's it called when you copy academically?
Plagiarism?
Yes, it's not technically plagiarism. This is what's happening to me, by the way.
Because of the horse tranks in your...
I couldn't remember. I was in a meeting and I couldn't remember Ron Howard's name, and I just kept calling him Opie.
And he's
but
like your homie, big like
yeah, but it wasn't like funny, and because I was like pitching I was like, we did this, we made this film, and it was produced by, and I was like, like I'm pitching people, and I was like, Opie, and they're like, Ron Howard, and I'm like, yes, Ron Howard, thank you so much. And then I tried to call back to it with a joke, but I couldn't remember his name again. So the horse tranquilizers are really getting to me. But the second verse of this is basically like, oh, apathy has rained on me, and now I'm feeling like a soggy dream, so close to drowning, but I don't mind. I'll live inside this mental cave, throw my emotions in the grave, and hell, who needs them anyway? But basically that person is like, basically apathy is raining on them, and now it's like they're in a dream, but it's very wet, so it kind of feels like drowning, but they don't really care about it. It's just like a real, like, I get it. You could have kind of stopped after the first paragraph where you talk about
the
punk style.
Life in punk style. That should be the new 155 caption. 155, life in punk style. That had me thinking, though, and reading these lyrics has me thinking, because I don't pay attention to dates or facts or really anything other than just these small sort of mosquitoes that are puns that fly around my brain, and I try to catch them and release them. But now that I'm actually thinking about the dates, in like 2009 wave indie punk South by Southwest music, like Waves and Best Coast and that kind of era of where indie met punk again for a brief time. A common theme throughout was apathy. I'm so bored. Like just talking about being bored all the time. And those bands would so often point back to Blink-182 as an influence and talk about Blink-182. And I liked it and I was happy about that, but I never really, other than like kind of the vague sense of ennui in some of it, it was mostly Blink-182 is about being too immature and not wanting to grow up. But I think Blink-182 gets credited incorrectly for what Green Day's doing on this song. And I again, if you look, like Dude Ranch is 97, even Cheshire is 95. Like this song is 94. I think even Blink-182 directly or indirectly, because I don't know if they ever were trying to write songs about like pure apathy. Like their version of apathy is like farting or whatever, or like riding in shopping carts or whatever. I mean, not that that's even in their songs, but you know what I mean? Their version of apathy is more like they're not bored. Blink-182 is never bored, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, they're aimless. And I think there's a difference. And the expression of it is totally different. And I actually think like when you think about it like that, I think one of them is more of an expression of privilege than the other. And I think that like that's something that has become very clear as we've sort of been talking with this band just even over the last 2 weeks, is being like bored because you kind of have no opportunity, like you are stepping in line to walk amongst the dead. Like there's just literally nothing that you are able to do, versus being like
overwhelmed,
literally not wanting to grow up, or you know what I mean? Just being like sort of putting off responsibility and stuff, because all of that is coming to you regardless of whether you wanted to or not. And I think like that's the anxiety that Blink speaks to, whereas like Green Day speaks to like maybe a more, not that one is more or less real, but like it's a very different perspective on what it means to be without direction.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that is kind of, I mean, who are we to really, there's no like moral implication to what we're saying, because obviously we've openly said we identify far more with Blink-182 than Green Day. So
yeah, totally.
But it does, maybe that's part of why Green Day's like kind of at their bones, even now that they're like so embarrassing and cheesy, just like Blink-182, still feels more like authentic. And Blink-182 will always feel like a mall punk version of Green Day.
Yeah, I was thinking about this, listening to and like watching Green Day, listening to Green Day, watching Green Day videos, like just being very enmeshed in this, as part of this sort of month-long journey, through a tiny sliver of the catalog, that like Billy Joe Armstrong would never play Animal Crossing on Twitch. Like he would never do the New York Times crossword on Twitch. I don't think any of those things would ever occur to him. Yeah. Like instead he would put up like a fuck rap music billboard, in a sort of misguided attempt to show how still real he is.
I think like begrudgingly he's done some of that stuff, but even then it's kind of like he'll talk to Billie Eilish because they have a similar name but then they'll just still end up talking about like songwriting or something. Like he still steers it back to like being, I'm a songwriter and I write songs.
Well, because I think that the embarrassing thing that Green Day did, or that Billie Joe Armstrong did, was like a Broadway musical. And you know what? That's sort of funny because like, why would you begrudge someone doing something? Like it's hilarious and it's corny, but like, holy shit, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
like, it's very true. Cool that they did that. Like just in a vacuum, devoid of taste.
It's true. That's so true.
That's not really like, that is just an interest in engaging with like creative opportunities.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to like cynically engineering, I don't know, content creation opportunities.
Or maybe that's not cynical with Blink. Maybe it's kind of a actual fear of growing up because you don't want to like stop being like, similarly, like I could easily see Mark Hoppus like starting to do TikTok dances or something. And I could never see Billie Joe do that. So I think you're right. And yeah, so that's just interesting to think about because I do often think of Blink-182 as being this like apathy, boredom. Maybe like Green Day is bored and Blink-182 is lazy. Maybe that's the distinction. I don't know.
That's good. I think that's really good.
I mean,
I think we're really getting in some deeper truths here. We're very smart.
In terms of like if the members of Blink-182 or Green Day were looking for unwanted therapy from two, in the grand scheme of things, very mediocre men, this is the place for it, I think.
Yeah, glad to be providing this insight into your psyches, fellas.
But I do. You also made a note because it's true that burnout has become kind of a buzzword, and I have always been scared to take like a test of like, have you experienced burnout? Because I think I might have been experiencing burnout for the last 4 years of my life, just kind of endlessly.
Yeah. Just burning. You're just always burning.
I'm just burning, and no one will put the fire out.
Yeah. It's tough. Well, I just did a quick like Google where I was like, burnout feels like a term that I'd never thought about outside of this album, outside of this song, until a couple of years ago when this just like became, as a sort of reaction to the rise of like hustle and grind culture. This like response that I think maybe like also mirrors, it's not necessarily connected to, but I think it mirrors the same. It comes from the same sort of reactive place as like the rise of like, socialist and like progressive politics and like, pro-union sentiments amongst like increasingly like younger and like well-informed people, that there are very sort of real factors in people's lives that they're reacting to. And so like it just now like looking at the song and thinking about it sort of through the lens of this, like, I feel like there were just as many articles about burnout as there were about avocado toast too. Like it was sort of the response to that where it was like millennials are lazy, but we're also, the big viral BuzzFeed article, right, was how millennials became the burnout generation.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone read this and everyone posted like, it me,
Yeah, it's like when they figured out that you could be what is it again? Oh no, my brain. I'm burning out.
You got horse brain, man. Did you do Globe Hell earlier too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called where you could be outgoing but also want to be alone?
Oh, an ambivert.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to read books, but I also love
an extroverted introvert or whatever.
Yeah,
when people are like, yeah, I'm both. Oh my God, this is so me. And then they just like tweet about that forever. Yeah, I mean, all these inch gent people are all the fucking same. No, I'm sorry. If you're an inch gent ambivert, I'm sorry if I'm offending you this week. Your next avocado toast is on me, my friend. And also, I love avocado toast, by the way. It's one of my go-tos.
It's delicious.
And it's not that expensive at all, to be honest.
It's quite reasonable. Yeah.
I also, like, I hate relaxing, to be honest. And you know this because I G chat you constantly with like all these like harebrained schemes of things we could do. Like I hate relaxing so much. On the weekend I think about the pod, I work on it, I like work on other things, I work on Globe Health. I hate relaxing, and I actually kind of love it's really embarrassing to say it out loud, but I do love to grind, baby. I'm on my grind.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm maybe slightly better at it than you. Like, I don't think I've ever sent you a message and waited, like, you know, if you don't get back to me right away, it's usually because, like, something is wrong. You know, like, you've had a heart attack. Yeah, there's been some sort of medical emergency. Whereas, like,
and that's the thing. Maybe I have had multiple heart attacks while doing this, and no one knows because I refuse to let it stop.
I feel the same. Like I also like love working, and I'm always like, but have I tricked my brain? Like I don't know. But at the same time, you read these articles and you're like, damn, I have also felt these things where you're like,
extroverted, introverted,
toasty,
avocado.
I love books, but I also love to talk to people. What does that mean? I'm so complicated and unique.
But that's true. That I'm not growing up. I'm just burning out. Is like almost something that Gen X would take pride in. And then if you read the line as a millennial phrase, it kind of seems also like it could be the name of someone's shitty collection of memoirs that has a nice font on the cover. So it's kind of
never been able to like, I still live with like 8 roommates, but I'm burning out because I work 30 jobs.
There's just this chapter called like dating ? Exclamation mark ?
This is great. I love this book. I've already given it a high enough, like a 4 stars on Goodreads.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you should definitely write. You should write a very millennial memoir,
like a parody of it.
Yeah, because I think the same way that Clickhole, emerges as a way for the Onion to kind of keep pace with, the way that news is disseminated. I think like you may be sort of keeping pace with the various people that you love to satirize because you are, of course, a lover of satire.
That's the thing that I wasn't expecting from Green May was just this weekly check-in of how do I feel about satire. That's confusing me a lot.
It's become a big part of this month. But yeah, I think you could write a really great comedy book.
It's true.
Fake essays. They're all dating.
All right, I think we should just watch some live videos and talk about how sick they are.
We fucking should do that, man.
This song's called Burnout. Ready?
Whoa, this is how he talks. Oh my god. I didn't realize he was already wearing a tie back then.
Yeah, like there's like sort of 90s punk tie, and then the pie goes up. Punk tie, and then the punk tie, the pie goes away.
It's true.
It's a callback.
But like when the tie came back, it was way more square, way more business casual. This is very much a making fun of your grandpa kind of tie on this video.
What a like cool stance.
This song's called.
Yeah. Also, we haven't really talked about like. I feel like we haven't talked enough about how incredibly fucking cool Billy Joe Armstrong is. And how he's like the hottest man ever.
So cool and so hot. So many iconic hair colors at this time. Also like a real like magnetic performer who like mostly like in this era like 2 feet planted on the ground. But just like pulling faces.
Yeah, he's doing some cross-eyed looks, and he's doing like the diagonal Matthew Goodband music video angles, but making them look really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and his pants are cropped so high at the ankle too. Right? Oh my god. Oh. And he like fucked up the fills so bad too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. I don't think bands will ever come back like this, probably.
No. Do you think his like neck? Because he does like these things where he's like snapping his neck constantly.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Like that must hurt. Like I'd be worried about throwing something out.
Seriously, like he's really selling it.
I like that he's actually doing this. I think early both times, right?
Right here, man.
This is
I don't know.
Amsterdam
I mean,
TV.
The exact same.
Come on,
It's
man.
so
You know what
fun.
we're talking about. Don't pretend that you don't jerk off. You do it. Come on, don't you?
See, even that, talking about jerking off, like Blink-182 really ripped off Green Day a lot, didn't they?
Yeah. It's like very obvious in this context.
Okay, let's also just watch them play the song at Woodstock '94 because we're never going to get to do another Dookie episode until next Green May, I think.
This song is dedicated to everyone in 69. This song's called Burnout.
He has like a different kind of accent every time he talks. Oh my God, Mike Dirnt's punk jump.
It's incredible.
Also, why do they seem like they're on like a shitty side stage?
Yeah. Okay, Trey Cool is wearing a shirt that makes like Norm Macdonald's dirty work shirts look like skin fitting.
It's true. He's wearing a muumuu and then he has like hair clips in.
Yeah, he looks great. Is that it? It's a muumuu. It's not just like a baggy.
No, I think it is really baggy. I was exaggerating.
It looks like the Homer muumuu.
Yeah, it really does.
And like Billy Joe's got the bright blue hair. They're 22. Like they're absolute baby children.
Yeah.
This band before, like Trey Cool, a complicated man aesthetically.
He's killing it here with the look.
He's so fucking good. Like the pre-Trey Cool material is like good because it's like the songs are good. But this truly is a band that like really works as a three. Like it really fucking does.
Yeah. They're like straight up a power trio.
Yeah.
Because they don't have their bonus boy at this stage, right?
Yeah. And that's what's so crazy. It's like, this is how good this band sounds before they needed to add bonus boys. Oh, this is the mud throwing and you get so much, like, this is fucking iconic.
It's so iconic. Ugh. Actually, he's wearing a red tie and a black shirt here. I can't believe it. He was just so much cooler back then that we didn't notice he was already wearing the American Idiot clothing.
Yeah. Man. Mike Dirt seems like he would be a really great best friend to have.
It's mad because you're in the rain. Well, fuck you. I hope it rains so much you all get stuck.
That's a very funny thing to say. I hope you get stuck in the mud.
There's quite a few. Mike Dirnt also is just like a guy that reminds me of so many other people. Like he seems like he could be related to Jim Carrey, kind of. He also looks. I pointed this out on Twitter a while ago, but he looks exactly like every single character in the Dark Crystal reboot that was on Netflix that I tried watching. And I've seen memes.
I didn't finish that either.
No, oh my God, it was so confusing. I was like ready to just try to vibe, but I kept getting so lost. I felt like I was reading a book, but I wasn't. I was looking at Mike Dirnt. I was looking at the puppetry of the
puppet show, and then you're like, wait, there's just a complicated Mike Dirt tale.
Which actually, we got to pitch that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, edit this part out so we can make sure that we have the rights to this great
And then
idea.
I've seen memes that say that Mike Dirnt has aged and become Putin. And like, again, like Mike Dirnt just looks like a lot of people. And that's why he's kind of, he's the perfect kind of sick bass player, but he's the more quiet, low key one. And it's because he reminds everyone of someone, I'm sure. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think that's it. You've got a Mike Dirnt in your life.
Yeah. I mean, I got to shout
Whether
out.
they perhaps are the leader of your country, if you're in Russia, or.
I got to shout out philosopher of the pod, Fiona, too, because one time I saw a picture of Fiona's dad and I was like, this man low key looks like Mike Dirnt. Like,
oh, shit. Okay, maybe on the Discord, if
let's get a Dirnt check. Everyone share the Mike Dirnt in your life on Discord. Yeah,
share your Dirt.
Let's have Discord Dirnt.
Discord Dirt. I want to see some Discord Dirts on Thursday when this episode comes out.
Well, Sam, before we get to covers, we got to once again.
We almost forgot.
We almost forgot to mention she's been sitting here this whole time.
I got so absorbed in my own world.
Yeah, just all the things that we've just said that were so profound and really
so profound. You said some pretty pretty decently profound things too for once.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. But anyways, she's been here. She's been sitting in the wings quietly, minding her own business. But finally, we're going to let her have her moment in the sun. Welcome to 155 to my friend from Bandsplain. It's Yasi Salek. What's up?
What's up, dogs?
Hey, Yasi.
Hey.
So, I mean, I wanted to have you here because, and I don't know if this was edited out or not, but when I was on Bandsplain recently, it's like I've been sucking in my gut, so to speak. I've been saying dookie as much as I can remember, and then I fucking slipped up and I went back to my natural state and said dookie, and you would not let this go.
And because it's like egregious. Like it's like such a horrific slandering of that word. Ducky. It's not only like incorrect, it's also somehow so Canadian, which makes it worse. Do you know what I mean?
Also hate Canadians, I think, it seems.
They're, it's like in my list, like, is Australian worse? Yeah. But like Canadians up there.
Okay, well that's good at least.
Hold on, how many spots are there between us and Australians? This is important to
also,
address.
there's very few other people you could add to your list before you get canceled because you're getting real close to
Exactly. Well, it's Germans, but
Yes.
are
Yeah,
the ones
thanks.
in between. And then it's not your people, it's the accent. And then number one is South African, sadly.
Whoa, shots fired.
Yeah. It's a bad accent and a complicated country.
So I guess
That sounded so radio.
Like a
And
real
folks,
hedge.
A complicated country. No one's listening anymore. They're like, okay, this girl, thank you. We're done.
I want to know because I know you're like from California.
That's right.
Is dookie like a word? I've never used the word dookie to describe shit before. Like, is that something you've ever said before? Is that like
You
a
mean like
real,
actual shit?
yeah, like or
Yeah.
anything? I guess like like
Yeah.
you would say like I have to. I have
Like
to
a duke.
dookie.
I mean,
Have you never?
I wouldn't say I have to do.
But if someone said it around you, you wouldn't be like, "That's weird."
You'd be like, you're
Or-
referencing pop punk, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just more of a word that like takes the place of shit. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I know.
But
I guess
I feel like I would only say it in the context or only hear it in the context of like personally going to take a shit. Like to me,
Okay.
it is always like gonna go like take a duke, have a duke, enjoy.
I always thought when people said take a duke, it's because it was an evolution of when people used to say take a deuce,
Like a
meaning
deuce?
number two.
right?
Is that?
Oh, is that what that means, eh?
Yeah.
Damn. Language is so fascinating.
See, on Yassi's show, we talk about songs and stuff, but on our show, we just immediately go.
We do
for
the etymology of dookie.
Yeah.
This is important.
Yeah.
What else did you have to edit out of Josiah's appearance?
Like
on
2.5
Bandsplain?
hours of talking.
I used to try to do that. It's just I'm just so envious of. I said before we started recording that it was important for me to confront you in the context of this podcast because I do feel like you're the other man in me and Josiah's relationship. And I also tried once to edit him. I tried to fix him. Like I was like, here's a man who's broken in a way that I understand, and I've got the solution, and it's editing. And I lasted like a week of editing it.
Yeah.
So-
We had like one episode that was 45 minutes long, and I don't think anyone cares about that episode. They like the ones where it's like
It's
ego
a lesser
death.
episode.
Yeah.
Not to like inside baseball, but do you guys look at your like analytics and see how many people listen the whole way through?
We do, and we also sometimes plant little like tidbits or like references or like code words, I mean, there's people. That's the thing is like there are people who have my sickness. So I think
When I first discovered being able to see that, and like at least it was like the beta like analytics, because mostly using Libsyn, you're not getting a lot of useful information. But seeing, I was like, oh God, no one listens to the whole show. And it actually really fucked me up to see like it was like 95%, retention rate. And I was like, these people are like troubled. Like everyone who listens to
Yeah.
the show has a problem.
Bandsplain
everyone
has a
making
pretty
it.
high retention rate too, and I think it's because anyone who shows up there is already like,
yeah.
yes, I fucking love Fish, and I need to hear every goddamn minute about this band that I can get. And they're there, and then they drop off right at the credits. They're like, I don't care who made this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, now I'm not interested.
Yeah, I don't.
So welcome to our show about insider podcasting info and different words for
Podcast
shit.
analytics and
pretty punk podcast analytics.
Exactly.
You ask me. Nothing
So,
more
but
punk.
Dookie, as I would say, is your album, right? With Green Day?
For sure, yeah, because it was, that album came out when I was, I don't know, what was the year? 94? Does that sound right? 93?
Yeah.
94,
we don't
yeah.
really
So-
know facts or anything.
No,
on the
yeah,
show.
it was 94. And I was 12. So that was like prime order the CD from BMG Music for 1 penny and get 12 CDs. And yeah, I listened to the shit out of this album, like wrecked the CD.
Were you ever
you feel it-
I'm trying to just do my standard Blink-182 questions and apply them to Green Day, and it doesn't really work because there's no like Mark or Tom dichotomy. It's just Billy Joe. But I guess the one question that does work is: did you ever feel like you were too cool for Green Day and then come back, or was Green Day always like? They don't seem like a band that people become too cool for it.
I'm not like a diehard Green Day like some other people. Like I really, really, really love this album, and I like probably dabbled a bit in whatever came after this.
Nimrod.
And then Nimrod, yeah. And
Insomniac.
Oh
Josiah.
yeah, I always
sorry,
forget about Insomniac.
Insomniac.
Fucking fact checker.
And then yeah, but that's Insomniac's the album that has the song that was like everyone's high school graduation song, including my own, right?
That's Nimrod. That's why
Nimrod,
Insomniac
okay.
doesn't matter.
Right. So like I probably like listened to
Wait,
a few
unless you
tracks.
graduated to Brain Stew, which would have been
Do-
pretty sick.
My high school was really progressive. And then I just kind of fell off, that I don't like, I heard Boulevard of Broken Dreams on the radio or whatever. So I never associated heavily with Green Day like the way that I did with Blink-182. So like cool or too cool or not too cool for it, like never really applied.
Maybe we all
Knowing
got
that
too
Cap-
cool for Green Day. Do you think?
No, Green Day got too cool for us, Josiah. That's what happened.
They got Trey cool for us.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know about like, I was 12, so I didn't really know like about selling out and stuff like that really yet. So I think like it wasn't possible to understand the implications of Green Day.
Right.
Knowing that like California is bigger than I think it is, was there any like special affinity, like as a kid being like, oh, this band is from a general region that I am from?
Oh, totally. I mean, like, I think like I talked to Josiah a bit about this on Bandsplain, but like the kind of punk that we all listened to, like from where I grew up, was like almost all from California. Like it was Fat Records stuff. It was even like SST stuff, older stuff, Descendants, like pretty much like squarely California. Operation Ivy, which we could, debate whether that's punk or not, but it's punk. Those were our bands. Like me and my friends anyways, we didn't get too much into like East Coast punk or like even East Coast hardcore or anything. You were pretty regional.
Right. But you're right, Sam. California is way bigger than, like, I can't believe there's a ski hill in California, right? Is that
There's
true?
a lot of ski hills.
But it's supposed to be sunny there. How does that work?
Is that what you guys call it in Canada? A ski hill?
What do you call it?
I don't know, like a mountain?
Actually, yeah, I don't really understand that because at least Josiah's like from a part of the country that has mountains. Like around here, they are literally just hills. They brand them as mountains, but it is a lie.
I don't really do anything other than sit at this desk and talk into this microphone. So I don't know. Everything that I'm speaking about is just based on some faded memory of a life before I sat here and did this. So.
California is big, but it's like full of stuff. That's a profound. I'm just thinking like, I'm like, okay,
Hell
well,
yeah.
there's, yeah, hell yeah. No, well, there's like there's Northern California and Southern California, and you can pretty much like divide it up that way between like scenes and punk stuff. I'm just thinking about Canada and the time I drove all the way across it, and I was like, wow, just hours, just hours
same
and
shit.
hours.
Yeah,
of
not a lot.
fucking nothing.
And then for like a minute, it's like really cool, and then there's really
And then you're
nothing
in
for
like
a long time.
you have to go play at a Mexican restaurant in like Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Amigos.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out
right.
Amigos.
That's right, babe. Truly horrible food. Maybe the worst Mexican food.
Oh
I've ever
yeah,
had
I
in my
guess
life.
if you're coming from Southern California, eating at Amigos. So that's the official review of Amigos.
Damn.
Amigos
R.I.P.
versus sombreros.
Amigos.
I guess there's no contest really.
Did you ever make a pilgrimage? I know, sorry, this is the Green Day episode, but being such hardcore Blink-182 stans, did you guys make a pilgrimage down to sombreros to get a burrito?
No, but there is this middle-aged man who lives in where does Bill live again? I think it's not Poe. It's like right beside it. I think. I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's like
in my mind, he lives in San Diego. Because
it's like he lives like I think
the trip
across the street from Poe or something. And he did this like stalker tour of Tom DeLonge's life for us. It's on our YouTube if anyone wants to watch it. And he goes to sombreros in it, and he's like but he's like a middle-aged man who bought Travis Barker's car.
Yeah, sorry. This tour is also happening in Travis Barker's Cadillac that he bought
just to get on the pod.
Yeah.
Wow.
He like met Tom wearing like a DIY pod shirt. And
Has the band taken legal action against you guys yet? Or is that just like you're kind of waiting?
Yeah, I mean,
at some point it's coming.
Yeah. I think that's sort of we thought the conclusion was going to be like the Damn It episode, the last song that we hadn't done. But in reality, like we're just sort of continuing to do this in the hopes that eventually they notice and sue us.
Yeah, just
put us to rest. You know?
They're like, you guys are fucking creepy.
I guess, yeah, we were just hoping that maybe Billy Joe is more lawyered up or something, or more bored.
Have you ever made like a pilgrimage to any like sacred band site, or like when you were younger, anything like in California?
Interesting. Not in California. I did one by accident, and then there's one I've always wanted to do and I haven't done yet. I went to like the church that REM lived in Athens. Because I just happened to be in Athens, and I was like doing a video project that involved it. So like that was actually really cool. But I've always wanted to go to the Replacements house, where they took the iconic cover of Let It Be on the roof. I can't think of anything that I would like care. Oh, duh. And I have a million times Danzig's old house in LA. Everyone knows where it is. Everyone's gone to it.
I've walked by it before. I don't even care about Danzig. I was just accidentally like I had brunch with a friend, and he's like, by the way, we're walking in front of Danzig's house. And I'm like, oh,
it's cool. In like Los Feliz. So like you could like just everyone accidentally walks by it like 100 times.
Yeah. I guess the pilgrimage for Green Day would be like to go to Gilman, but that's kind of like
and they get banned.
Yeah.
To get kicked out of Gilman would really be the trip.
But I feel like,
do you guys know what I learned yesterday? I'm going to take you to a place that you didn't know that you could even go on this show.
Oh, wow.
Do you know who played Gilman
you mean
Street?
Learning?
No. In 1991, Adam Duritz, who played Gilman Street
God.
with his old
so
band,
sick.
the Himalayans, and they did play around here, and there is a video of it.
Oh,
can you even?
That's everything I've ever wanted to hear. We can stop now.
That's August and everything after.
This is also like one of Josiah's bands.
No, me too. We just did
the
the Counting Crows episode.
Thanks,
Josiah.
Thanks for having me on again.
Slighted.
Okay,
I wasn't aware that you were a huge
so sick.
fan.
We should talk about Burnout a little bit, probably. So someone talk about Burnout now.
Yo, it's good. What is this one of your favorite songs on Dookie? Like, where does this land for you in now, since we're ranking like countries and rock heritage sites?
It's not one of my top favorites. Josiah didn't give me a choice. My favorite is probably She, and my second favorite is probably When I Come Around. But I actually went back and listened to Burnout, and I forgot how much I really love it. It's because it's the first song on the record. I've spent you hear the first song on a record so many times if you sit around and listen to the record in its entirety over and over, which is what I did because I was a loser. And it really is such a fucking good song. Especially it's such a good first song for a record.
I agree.
Well, I've been saying this is that like I do think that all the good Green Day albums have like super strong opening songs.
Right. Yeah.
And so even if this isn't necessarily your favorite, it is like this perfect, and like Blink did this really well again on like the good Blink records of like the thesis statement of the album.
Yeah.
And I feel like it kind of works in that context, even if it's not your favorite.
Yeah. I mean, like even those like first lines, right? I declare I don't care no more. Like it's like already anthemic of like, especially when you're like, 12, 13, 14, whatever, any teen years. And you're like, fuck yeah. Like
so
I also
good.
don't care anymore. Say more, fam.
Having to clean my room and shit. Fuck that. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not down. And now that I have grown up and burned out, it really takes on an extra meaning for me. I'm like, I do live inside this mental cave. And I will throw my emotions in the grave. And I do every day.
Yeah, when you were younger and you heard like this song, did you interpret it differently than you do now as an adult? Like, this is the first time for me as an adult, I was like, oh, right, Burnout, the thing that we constantly have to talk about. Did you relate to this when you were 13 and then revisit it as an adult and go like, I had no idea?
When you're 13, you weren't dealing with like the gig economy and stuff.
No, exactly.
Yeah, but neither was Billy Joe. He was like 20 years old.
That's true.
Like there was no gig economy. Like this song, I feel like is like, it is like kind of like a capsule of like that time, right? Like this is the early 90s. Like apathy ruled. Like that was like the main emotion of the time. And I think being a teenager and, you know, coming from kind of like a working class background and feeling just like trapped, you know, and like not wanting to like join the ranks and just fucking throw your life away into like whatever, being a cog in a machine. I think it kind of still applies.
It's one of the things that I think is so funny about revisiting these songs where you're like, damn, I remember being like that, being like, I'm not going to be like that, man. And then it's like now being 35 or 36 and being like, I'm not going to be like those 40-year-old, you know, or I'm going to be, when I'm 50, I'll be cool somehow, you know? You're always just moving the goalpost for yourself.
And you're saying you're not cool is what you're saying?
No, but I'm thinking in a couple of years of really like powering up.
You're overdue for glow up.
That's what I'm thinking, right? It's like I'm a super late bloomer.
So you sent me a picture of you pointing at like a Dookie plaque.
Dookie.
A Dookie plaque on the wall.
They're going to sue you just for that. I myself am going to alert their legal representation.
That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, I did send you that picture. Bandsplain, which is available, new episodes every Thursday, only on Spotify.
Slick.
Rob,
very
you
slick.
like that? You
very
like that?
slick.
It was really good.
It was really good.
Pretty good. One day I got a message on Instagram from this guy who was like, "Oh, I'm Rob Cavallo's assistant. He really likes Bandsplain and he wants to talk to you." And like, I think a lot of people, well, I don't want to say that, but like, I think I knew who Rob Cavallo was, which I don't think is common. Do you know what I mean? Because I was
really trying to figure out what you were measuring there, and I understand it now. And I think that what you're saying is probably correct.
Yeah, like I'm A, of a certain age, and B, a fucking dork loser who's like knows who produced the Goo Goo Dolls album and the Jawbreaker album and all the Green Day albums, like because I care about that stuff. And so I was like, oh my God, Rob Cavallo likes my stupid fucking show. And so, yeah, we like met and became friends. And he actually, when does this show come out?
Tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this week.
Okay. Well, on this week's episode of Bandsplain, we do Jawbreaker, and he's actually on the episode, which was really cool to talk about.
Sick.
But when I went to talk to him about that, it was like after Josiah had asked me to be on this. So I was like, oh, let me pump Rob for some info.
Ooh.
I mean, it was nothing salacious, but it was interesting.
Like, I did record Dookie.
He's like, that's true.
Please stop saying it that way.
He's like, it's actually pronounced Dookie. Yeah.
He was like, you're Yasi, it's Dookie. Could you? Yeah, I don't know. He's a pretty genius dude. Like, I feel like, and you guys have obviously heard Kerplunk and whatever 1,000.
all the slappy
happy hours, which are good. They're good, but like, how good is Dookie? Like comparatively,
Yeah,
you know?
it's true.
Yeah, it's perfect and it's aged perfectly. I love the fact that it's not like he is like a punk dude. That at the same time that he's doing this, he's responsible for the Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah, I guess the Goo Goo Dolls are punk, but you know.
Yeah, but I mean,
by like the longest sort of arc of
quotes.
time association. Yeah.
I said this on Bandsplain already, but I'll say it again because this is my log line for Rob Cavallo. I really feel like he's like the like human version of those movies where like there's like a nerdy girl that wears glasses and a ponytail, and then like someone comes in and is like, if you just remove your glasses and take down your ponytail, and all of a sudden she's like walking down the stairs and she's like the hottest girl ever. Like I feel like he does that with bands, you know?
Right.
She's all that's like all of the sort of pop punk diamonds in the rough.
I think there's a gender swapped He's All That on Netflix now with starring that TikTok girl.
It could never work.
Okay.
We've got things have gone too far.
What's the
Whatever
gender
it is
swap
you're
version?
talking about
The boy
sounds
puts
horrifying.
glasses on, and they're like, "Oh my god, you look so
No, you see-
smart."
These guys are not as dumb as we thought.
So did he have?
How does-
Did Rob have anything to say about Burnout?
He just talked about like this song. He was like, this song was apparently inspired by Billy Joe's ex, whose name was Amanda, I want to say. Have you guys ever seen a picture of her?
I don't think so.
She was really cool. She was like super punk. She had like a huge mohawk and like she was like way punker than him. And I guess the story is that she kind of like was like, oh, your band's not going to go anywhere. Like whatever, you're a loser. I don't really know like the exact. I don't want to slander or libel or whatever that you know better than I do, Sam. But, whatever it was, I think she had some, whatever words about. And I think this like song was sort of a response to that. Like, I'm not going to fucking make it or whatever.
That's so good.
This is a very cool looking person.
Oh, you found the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really cool. Rob told me that she was like the first real feminist that he had ever like really like, encountered that like really talked about feminist theory, and like she was super smart. I think she was like a university student at Cal.
Billy Joe Armstrong
awesome.
dated the inventor of feminism and then wrote a song about it.
As you know, feminism was invented in 1991. There was certainly no prior feminism.
Invented in 91 by a man.
By a white woman. By a man.
By Amanda.
He was inspired by Amanda, but I think, credit where credit's due.
Right. He invented feminism. There's another song that I think he says is about her. Sorry, I went away from the mic, so I hope that sounds not good.
Oh, yeah, but it's really, let's get a fresh cut of that.
What's the one that's like scream at me until my ears bleed?
Isn't that she?
Yeah, she. So that one's also about Amanda.
Of course.
And he's like talking about feminist theory. Like,
Oh, yeah, I read that. That's awesome.
That's why it's called She. It's about feminism.
how are you like, is this your job, Josiah?
I
act like it, but no. And I'm very tired.
Even worse, you're a writer.
You ever read anything he's written, though?
I haven't, actually.
My
I'm
brain
so sorry,
is just
Josiah.
decaying on my...
Yeah, it's
Same.
a big part of the process here. Did you talk to Rob at all about being responsible for the sellout albums of two, iconic
He also produced
California punk bands?
He also produced the Phil Collins song for the Tarzan soundtrack. So he's really just killing it in the 90s.
He's got range, if you will.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him about it in the context of Green Day, but I did talk to him about it in the context of Jawbreaker, which you can listen to. Bandsplain, available on Thursday. I think that album is really misconstrued as a sellout album. Like, and same with Dookie. Like, Rob is not a producer that like forces bands to change sound or anything. Like, he would just never do that. Like, so I think the sellout, how do you say it? Like the sellout storyline is projected from outside from fans that are just pissed, but like nothing changes in those bands except now they have access to better equipment and they sound better because of it, and sometimes fans don't like that, which I get. Like there's sometimes where bands, you love them because they sound, I love Cheshire Cat more than any other Blink-182 album, and it's like the least clean of their albums, and that's part of the reason I like it. So I understand that take.
That's why we got pop screens for this new version, because we're trying to sell out so badly, and it's not
this
working.
is our Dear You moment. We're like really
trying to make
That's
it
why
happen.
they are jet black.
Do you remember when selling out was a thing that people cared about?
Yeah.
When was the last time anyone talked about selling out with any degree of like...
Was it Against Me? Has anything happened since Against Me that anyone's been mad about selling out?
Really mad, yeah.
I don't think it's even like part of the cultural conversation.
No, I feel like I used to lie about Dear You not being my favorite Jawbreaker album. And
you're one of those.
I totally lied about it. Lied about it. But I blame the sort of specific politics of the Toronto punk scene, not me being notably spineless. a poser or anything like that.
Okay, yeah.
But I do feel like the discourse has changed now. Like even in the last 5 years, you're like allowed to admit that Dear You is the best drummer.
But I think what happened was everybody
Totally.
started doing like the Sour Patch Kids recording studio, or like putting out a 7-inch with Jeep or whatever, and then they're like,
The Sour Patch Kids. It's actually a house in Chicago. I'm
I
not
like that
even
it's not a
kidding.
riff; it is real. We
I'm
just need
pretty
to be
sure it's like
correct about
it's like a band house in Chicago that people can stay at. I might have been making that up.
so
I think that's it. You stay, and then you, the way that you pay for it,
you
is
have to record
make
a song.
content.
Yeah.
You make content for the candy
you
company.
sing for your supper of Sour Patch Kids.
We're way too deep into capitalism for like anyone to even like be able to like point a finger. It's like the Spider-Man meme of pointing fingers at each other, like selling out. Like who amongst us, you know?
I mean, I'm trying so hard to sell it. Is all I want to do. That's kind of my 5-year plan, is to just sell out. And if someone wants to call me on it, I'm ready for it. That will just mean I've sold out enough that someone's mad about it. So
I mean, but also like think about the fact that A, these guys were 21 years old, and B, this album won a Grammy.
Yeah.
It's like they went from like recording in shitty places for like 2K and playing punk, you know, Gilman Street, to like winning a fucking Grammy. It's insane.
It blows my mind listening back to this album, and just again like the confidence of this song, like, and then how it sets up the whole record, because it's shocking that they're so young. It's like shocking that they were basically writing all this stuff, like in terms of sort of what Rob's influences on it. Like most of this record is written, as I understand it, right, kind of written before he comes sort of
100%. Yeah.
And so like that, you know, the tightness of the song structure, the harmonies, like everything's
Welcome to
already
Paradise was
there.
already recorded. It was on
It's
it was
crazy.
on Kerplunk. They just re-recorded it.
It's just like, it's astonishing to think how well developed this band was at just like an age where I was doing nothing of note or value. And not a lot has changed.
I was doing nothing but drugs.
I mean, here's the thing, they were also doing drugs. I was like, where do you find the time?
Where do you find the time?
well, they didn't have these damn smartphones back then. That's part of it, right?
They didn't have this dang Facebook, right, Josiah?
Exactly. All right.
Taking up all their time.
I think you've gotten your plugs in, but, you know, where can people check you out? What's the deal?
You can listen to Bandsplain every Thursday, only on Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter at Yasi Salek.
All right. Thank you so much. Before
Thank you.
we burn out, we will let you go.
Wow. Well, thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Sam, why don't we get into some covers of the song Burnout by Green Day?
Yeah, we should get into some covers, Josiah. But first, I think people should know that all of these covers come from our Patreon gatekeepers. And they were all made in, I was corrected on
To
Discord.
clarify that they're not gatekeeping us. Like, we're still, we fucking we built the gate. All right.
Yeah, but
so don't
they
get it
pay
twisted. You're not
around the gate and keep it with. But they get to keep it with us. They're like, they are part of. Otherwise, they're just gate insiders.
It's true.
Otherwise, they're just gated.
It's true. It is. Well, it is a gated community. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you go to patreon.com/155pod, you will know what song we're doing in advance. That way, you will get to contribute a cover of the song that will not only be played on this show for more people than probably will ever listen to your band, because it's more people than have ever listened to my bands. And even more people than that will listen to it on Bandcamp the next week. So, I mean, talk about exposure. We need to get some disgusting like music biz spammers in here too for $5 a month. Think of all the.
I want to get canceled for paying people who make content for the show in exposure.
Me too.
We're like Canadian Music Week, you know?
Exactly.
We're actually going to start. It's actually a $50 fee per. There's an administration fee that goes along with sending us your song.
I mean, it literally is pay to play, and that's what I'm saying. Pay us, play us, pay to page, Rion.
Right. I also have continued to say that all these covers are recorded in 72 hours. I was recently informed on Discord that that's not how time works, and these covers are actually made in 96 hours.
Oh, well, that's not that impressive.
So now I don't care. Like, you know, now none of this is really that impressive, given that
it's not
takes
that cool.
Almost 100 hours. I mean, come on.
Okay, so the first artist on here is Green Day. I don't know if it's the real one or not, but it is credited to Green Day. And it says, manager says we don't have the budget to record with shoes again. Trey wants you to know the drums are not programmed, but are actually recorded on V drums. And then his neighbor has started banging on the wall when he plays them, trying to get the label to pay for a practice space. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure this won't be the last time shoes is mentioned, but it's funny. While we're recording this, right this very second, Shoes Robinson is on Twitch breaking down how he did his cover last week. So every week he goes on Twitch and explains how he made his cover. I thought it might be funny if I just listened to it for a second. You won't be able to hear it, but
last thing is I have this,
just tune in live. This
Japanese
is exciting.
Percussion.
see, he's talking about his
as well. These little fills.
he's talking about his percussion that he used in his cover of American Idiot. Let's go.
So those are all from the same sample pack. Just oops.
Shout out to Shoes Robinson. I mean, that's people are learning some shit in there, and they're definitely not learning shit here. So that's our contribution, is that we're pushing people towards the general direction of possibly learning something. And that's
the sort of dangerous precipice of knowledge.
Okay, so here's Green Day with Burnout. Oh, it sounds so good.
Those drums sound awesome. Super high toms. Ooh. Oh my god.
Whoa. Incredible.
Holy shit.
Green Day, you're going places.
Yeah, I think people should be on the lookout for Green Day.
That was unbelievably good. We have to play less than usual. This is the most covers we've ever received in our lives.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. And Sam has horse tranquilizer brain, so we got to keep going. Todd Killings, the man, the myth, the legend, with his friend Matt Cathcart. Todd says, had an old friend send a drum track all the way from Athens, Georgia. We played a Green Day cover set once, Athenian Idiot, and we're in a band called Countdown to Boys for a second. We had a lot of
Countdown to Boys is amazing.
We had a lot of fun doing this, and he wants us to skip ahead. So we're going to start it at the 45-second mark. Shout out to Todd Killings, always killings it. Shout out to Matt Cathcart from Athens, Georgia. See, the song has so much swagger when it's slow. It does. Oh, this makes me want to go to a practice space so badly. It just
Makes me want to go to Athens.
me too. It makes me want to.
A lot of Athens in this episode.
Is it? There is.
Yeah, we talked about Athens with Yasi.
Oh yeah.
It's part of this seamless conversation that you and I have been having.
It just happened so recently that I'm nearsighted when it comes to memories. I think is what it is. The Sallies are back, and the Sallies say that they've tried something completely different this week. Other members of the Sallies are singing vocals this time. So if you've been keeping track of the Sallies, you might just that's kind of a warning, so you don't fucking lose it right now. Here's the Sallies.
I declare I don't care
Whoa!
no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored. I'm in my smoked out pouring room. My hair is shagging in my eyes, dragging my feet to hit the street tonight to travel along these shit town lights.
Unbelievable.
I'm growing up.
Oh, the full third wave.
And I stepped in line to walk amongst the dead.
We got to stop it there. I'm sorry, but
That's it. I mean, look at this is the final piece of the ska revival that's been happening over the
it's getting
Since
to
we
be
started talking
the
about
ska revival is getting to be kind of blowing up so much that I think I'm ready for the backlash a little bit. Just a pinch, you know?
just to like, you know, keep ska like it's got a, you know, outsider music a little bit, you know.
Exactly. We need to keep ska weird, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep Scotland weird. Keep Scotland weird would have been better, I guess. Green Day is back. Could I trouble you to play it from 107, please? I mean, if you're going to ask like that, like Oliver Twist, then Sir, may you have some more time to start it. Absolutely. So there's a mini Holocaust section just for Sam. Sam loves the Holocaust section.
So, canon, yeah.
So here we go. Whoa. You know what I love about that is that it's, first of all, that is very much a mini Holocaust section because it just sounds kind of small while also being reminiscent of Kevin Shields at the same time. It's like a little bit of both.
It did really it's like a pocket-sized Kevin Shields made that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kids
very
bop
cool.
shoegaze. But I also love the idea of, it's not the fact that he's doing this Who style drum solo at this part that makes it what it is. It's that he's deconstructing the song. And so that's why this perfectly made sense as that, because it's kind of, that's what I mean, everyone's just so smart and great, and I love them all. So that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Okay, Yeah, He Dies is back. So this is a group called Yeah, He Dies. Kind of getting lost in that. I almost fell all the way in.
There was like a real I was like, I love how the sort of the alteration of the delivery was fucking awesome.
It kind of reminded me of like if instead of being massive fucking nerds, the band Hot Chip was like really, really sexy. That's kind of what it sounded like to me.
It's impossible to imagine that.
Okay, up next, this is called Peruvian Bird Dookie Mined for Fertilizer, Burnout Dropped Bucket Mix. Everyone is wanting us to start the songs later this week, which is, it's fine. This is the Rock's How. I see it. I'm seeing it now. So we're starting it at 103. Guano, bird dookie, mining was important in Peru's 19th century economy. There's a link to learn about this. So that's what this one is about, I guess.
And I stepped in line to walk amongst the dead.
There's the rock bucket.
I'm just burning.
I guess that's the titular drop bucket.
That's the drop bucket from
All.
I'm glad that the bird dookie guano was kind of more in the subtext. And of course, guano does make me think of Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura 2, which makes me think of Mike Dirnt. So it all is really just a perfect loop right now, everything.
That's your dirt.
Trey Cool Text with Burnt Out. And they've written, this is what burning out feels like. Yes. Let's burn, baby.
I'm burning.
It's very scary sounding.
This is fucking spooky.
What's gonna happen? Guess we'll have to all listen on Bandcamp on Monday to find out what happened.
Man, listening to the entire American Idiot comp, so sick.
That really fucked me up.
So sick.
It was incredible, but it also did very much fuck me up mentally. I think it was too much.
It's a strange place to put yourself.
I'm more excited for this one because I love the song, but I don't know. I think I was trying so hard not to love American Idiot, and then I lost the battle with that last week's comp. Maybe. Tender Hell, back at it again. Tender Hell with Burnout. Let's go. My jaw is dropped right now.
This is fucking nuts.
The chords and everything too. That was infuriating and delightful. I mean, yeah, that maybe I'm going to listen to all of these before Monday because I don't think. I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to cheat because that's not fair to only have heard that much of that.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little ripped off right now, man.
You ever get the feeling you've been cheated? I'll see you later. Burnout, but just the last chorus. I've played the kalimba for almost an hour, and this song refuses to stick in my head. Enjoy. Okay? I will.
I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out. And I stepped in my shoe, walked amongst the dead.
I mean, that's perfect. Perfect 15-second cover of.
Yeah, that was like a real, like, ooh, what a great 15 seconds.
That was 15 seconds in heaven, I guess. In that rhyme, you're rhyming with 7, so it didn't really work. But you know what? I tried. I'm just trying.
Yeah, you did your best, man.
I'm trying to just keep it moving, keep the fun coming, and I loved that. I'll see you later, so thank you for that. Up next, the Silver Bullets with Burnt.
And then I started to feel that my tiredness, my normal tiredness, didn't feel quite right. Something was wrong. I became more and more tired. The tiredness became deeper. But I just kept going on. It's fine. I can keep this life. And guess what? My first warning sign came in. And I chose to ignore it. Because I'm a perfectionist. I can keep going.
Okay. That was just my internal monologue fighting off the burnout all the time.
Yeah. That's it. Just too much in the head.
The hard panning too is really fucking me up. But I do love those ones. I love when it's like kind of a shit post, but still the song is in it too. That's the perfect balance. You know, it's kind of. It really speaks to my inner turmoil of existence based on whatever song we're obsessing over that week. So I appreciate that. Now this one, I know you're tired, Sam Bobs. Do you know why this person is called Shawn Mendes?
Shawn Mendes is lawyer's best friend. So I guess it's a joke about the guy who made American.
So Shawn Mendes' lawyer's best friend said, pretty sure Poli-Sci Alex and I had the same idea this week, Pod Magic. So I'm guessing that means the idea is going to happen again and it's an inside joke or a reference to something incredibly obvious that I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, very Mumfordy, but also kind of reminded me of like Ballad of Wilhelm Fink. So maybe there's something that we're missing. Let's wait, and when we get to the Poli-Sci Alex entry, decide if there's anything specific that we're like.
It's just interesting how much we can control how much poser-ish we want to come across, which is usually very poser-ish, and we're very comfortable being massive fucking posers.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like protecting our images that happens on this show. There should be more.
But then these outside sources come in. Some fucking bigwig lawyer's friend comes in and makes a reference to something that's probably so obvious, and everyone's probably screaming at their
Yelling at their podcatcher.
Their Beats by Dre bill that they listen to this on. Like it's a Nicki Minaj video. That's what I imagine everyone's doing right now.
I definitely, when I think about people listening to this, it is always specifically in the set of a Nicki Minaj video.
Yeah, okay, good. It's all about
Yeah,
that.
that's weird. You and I have never talked about that.
The super bass video.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Long Bean's Mouth Sore with Burning Out. Let's go. Come on. This is just fucking... I need a minute here. That was just... That was
pretty good.
the heft of that.
Yeah.
That was hefty, emotional.
That also felt like really laser targeted at you.
It really was, and
Like,
also
I loved it, but that was extremely like, wow, it's like a hearing part of Josiah's inner monologue once again, and it's like the less disturbing part of your inner monologue.
yeah. I mean, exactly, because all of these are pieces of it, but that's the part I really want to showcase is that part of my inner monologue.
Yeah, that's like the best possible
the
version.
lo-fi sensei boy. That's the real me right there.
Yeah.
So thank you. And it's coming from somebody who's chosen to name themselves Long Beans, mouth sore. So that just all
Yeah, of
makes-
course.
That's so good. And again, I mean, they do come in pairs, it seems, because up next is Dr. Bugman 31, of course, another person who sort of rests at the very center of the yin and yang of my personality, of course, the sole person who maintains the highly detailed global warning Wikipedia page, and also the person who delivers these incredibly heartfelt and beautiful covers every week. So here's Dr. Bugman 31 with Burnout. Ooh, taking it for a walk this week.
Oh.
Space sounds fretless to me.
Yeah.
There it is, the blue eyes. That's. I'm not explaining that. That's for the true heads only. But why do I have blue eyes? Is that's my shit. Thank you, Dr. Bugman. You're the best. Up next, let's go. Mysterious They Hardcore. Back at it again. Didn't have nearly enough jam space time to do this well, and it's very sloppy. Fuck yes. What more could I want?
Yeah, I mean that's promising.
That's promising. Here's Mysterious They Hardcore with Burnout. Yes.
I declare, I don't care. Burning up and out, growing bored in my smoked out boring room. Hair in my eyes, dragging my feet, hit the streets. Drive along these shit town lights. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out. A stepped in line to walk amongst the dead. Apathy is weighing on me, now I'm feeling like a dream. So close to drowning, I don't mind. I'll live inside this metal.
I have to wait till Monday for the breakdown. That's so painful.
Oh my God.
That was perfect.
Fucking sick. I think, again, you had just enough jam space time.
You had the perfect amount of jam space
Yeah, I
time.
don't think you needed more jam space time.
That was unbelievable. So
That was
good.
fucking great.
Okay. International collab. Make Believe times Tightrope Tiger. I don't know where Tightrope Tiger lives, but apparently it's international. I mean, you could say anything's international, really, because, or maybe I'm thinking international if you're collaborating on the internet.
Oh, God.
Wow.
the international flight.
International. I love the vocals.
This is so fucking sick.
Okay, I gave them 10 seconds longer than everyone else, but that's all you're getting because we gotta keep it moving. But that was incredible.
Incredible.
Good Lord. Make Believe and Tightrope
The
Tiger.
Lord is good.
I mean, that's true. And also so is this song, my friend. That was some deep production going on too. I need to really dig into that one with my little lobes here. There's no funny
your beats pill.
There's no funny.
You gotta get that.
There's really no
response.
funny word for ears like saying peepers or something. You know, like there's nothing.
My rock holes. No.
Yep, that's it. Rock holes. That's what they're called now.
All right, there you go.
So this kind of here's some pod magic. This seems kind of like a djent thing. This person is called I mean, I think it's DJ, but I'm saying Jesus of Suburbia. DJ Jesus of Suburbia. This is Burnout Bouquet Mix. There's a bit of an intro, so we're going to skip ahead as instructed. Here, we listen to instructions, folks. That's why you give us money to listen to instructions.
We get paid to follow instructions, basically.
Ooh. Yes!
Okay.
This makes me so excited to wear my mesh t-shirt again when it gets hot.
Oh. This is very mesh.
Yes. That was I will say this. That was incredible and I loved it and I loved Jesus of Suburbia. I also think Billy Joe Armstrong's voice does not connect with dance music the same way that like other pop punk people just kind of seamlessly blend in. It doesn't blend in as well.
It feels, like, when we've heard again, like, Blink-182 kind of deconstructed, there's like a smoothness to it that like is not present in Billy Joe's vocals. You know what I mean? Like they're not smooth.
He just sounds like Billy Joe Armstrong on the track still. It doesn't really... You can't erase the Billy Joe. I also think it's because so much like EDM and terrible pop dance music that I love so much is so clearly influenced by Tom DeLonge nasal voice that it's not influenced by like Billy Joe Armstrong's like pub rocker voice that he has. But
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
It's definitely too pubby to translate to the clubby.
That's true. On the pub club dichotomy, he's somewhere in between, and maybe it's dub actually.
The three genres.
Next is Commitment Phobe. Shout out to Kristen. Shout out to Kristen, who is the titular Commitment Phobe, and her committed partner Matt helps out with the production. So it's not all phobia here, but I'm so excited. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Oh, it sounds like the Smugglers or like the sickest Evaporator songs or something, or like
yeah, totally.
It's very mid-records. Yeah. Oh, Kristen rules at singing. It sounds so good.
This is incredible.
Oh,
it's just so like it is that
yeah. Just like
all music should sound like that.
Take that track, just put different lyrics on it, and no one has to know. You know what I mean? That can just be your own little secret.
Just steal it.
Exactly.
Now, what you say is that to me, I guess, is pub.
Yeah. That's more pub than... It's definitely not club, but I think what it is cub, actually. So,
shit. Oh my God, a fourth genre.
A fourth genre emerges.
That's incredible.
Up
This
next
is incredible.
is Smelly Chops, who says, did a whole other cover and then gave it up at the last minute for this mess. All these things, there's been other ones I haven't been reading too. People are really underselling their covers this week. And I got to say, folks, I'm so proud of you all. You're so talented, and you need to just believe in yourselves a little bit more. You know, because whatever we're about to play, I mean, maybe it'll be dog shit, and I'll admit if it is, but I bet you it's going to fucking rule.
Believe in yourself the way me and Josiah believe in ourselves.
Yeah, too much. See, this fucking rules.
Yeah, this is outrageous.
This is so cool. Like low key, a little bit of Atari Teenage Riot in there.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I would love to know, you know, maybe when we get around to potentially doing a Green May stream, like what was the one that got abandoned for that? And definitely would love if there was any partner commentary, like, because the comment is that shout out to my partner for not mocking me too much while I recorded vocals.
Right.
So there was like
some
there was
mocking.
at least a light amount of mocking, and so I would love to know more.
I think it's more, you know how people say like it's actually healthy to have conflict in a relationship or whatever, like that kind of stuff. I would be more concerned if someone's partner was not mocking them at all during this sort of collective fever dream that we all have every week.
True. Yeah. Like I think it's important to have someone who could be honest with you.
I mean, don't listen to them when they're saying you have a problem and you need to stop doing that. Obviously, you're not going to follow through on that.
Oh, they're wrong. They're wrong. But
still,
you know, sometimes you need a little bit of like pushback in your life to like confirm your own beliefs.
It's cute of them to try. Ultimately,
it's the devil's advocate, right? Or right?
Baby Tyler is here. Baby Tyler was in an actual studio all weekend working on his own stuff. So this was super quick, but was not that's the thing. Everyone's just like, oh, I just tossed this off. Like, of course, it's obviously going to be fucking incredible. Like, what are you guys trying to prove with these captions this week? Is I guess what I'm trying to understand. You know?
Yeah. There's a real consistency to it.
I declare I don't care no more. I might have been out and growing bored in my smoked out boring room.
Yeah, it's obviously
Yeah, this sounds like shit.
Yeah, we're tired. Your baby already washed.
Oh my god, it's so good. Come on.
Incredible.
Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, like pretty nuts. Like I had a couple of hours. Like, fuck off, everyone.
Oops, I accidentally just pressed record and it fell out, and then it's fucking perfect. Fuck you.
I was just thinking about it, you know. Yeah, that was incredible. And for a lowly baby.
I mean, if you want to hear the sound of somebody just sort of hitting record and quickly doing something without putting any thought into it, that's pretty much what we've been doing for 4 years. And so that's
yeah. I just threw this together last minute with no preparation. Yeah, I relate.
I mean, but we mean it. Like, we actually don't know what we're talking about at all.
Yeah, you did reference a few times this episode, like, oh, you made a note, because for this month we were like, we should make notes and share them, and it's just like a Google Doc that's like Woodstock.
It's like
links
the
to
lyrics.
the Genius page in case like we forget how to Google.
We're smart. We're so good. It's like, you know, the Malcolm Gladwell thing of like, it spent, what is it, 10,000 hours or something?
Yeah, you should know.
And
He's
then
like,
you become, he's my
yeah.
friend or whatever. I don't know. He's
I can't remember the narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows my uncle, basically, is what the narrative is. He's friends with my uncle. But like, what if you just did 10,000 hours of doing something that's kind of like you shouldn't be doing it? And I feel like that's what we've been doing. It's like we become experts at doing something that no one should be doing. It's like
That's
we're doing it
interesting.
incorrect.
Yeah, what if you waste your 10,000 hours?
I guess it's kind of like Travis Barker's drum technique too. How it's like he's done it for so long that and I am comparing us to. I'm saying we are the Travis Barker of podcasting right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He's like he plays drums wrong, so he's always breaking his bones. But that's how he learned to do it, and that's kind of our curse and our blessing. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's why we're so influential in hip hop.
Here's Greenlaw, Brooks, and Robinson, a super group of Holly, Simon, Ryan, Shoes, and Moon. And they've popped up before. Greenlaw, Brooks, and Robinson is a fucking super group, and this is going to rule. So starting at 54 as requested.
All the apathy has a home in me. Now I'm written hard, never put up clean. That's just my sad, sorry routine. All living in this one room house. Pack up my feelings and throw 'em out.
Good Lord.
Thing for me to cry about. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out. And I fell in line to two-step with the dead.
Also, those were like new lyrics.
That was ridiculous. That was ridiculously good. You know what I do actually get mad about it? Because it's not even just our fight anymore. I mean, we have obviously this delusions of our own greatness that some of you have been enabling, to be honest.
Yeah, to be quite honest, this is not, you and I are not entirely to blame. Like, we're not the only ones to blame.
Exactly. I mean, mostly, yes, but still. But now it's like all of you are doing this incredible work every week. And like, why isn't it in the New York Times yet? You know what I mean? Why isn't it? Yeah. Why isn't there like a 60-minute special about this? And those are the two publications I know of that still exist.
I feel like this is the most I felt. You know when like if you're lucky enough and you play music, you like do have a moment where you're like, oh shit, like we rock and all of our friends rock. Like maybe we're all gonna like maybe people will care about.
Like it's our Seattle moment right now.
Yeah, like without I didn't want to say it, but where you're like, this is like like I don't know, like this band could be a thing, and then maybe they'll take us on tour. You know, you get that moment right where you're like, maybe feel like you're part of something, and everyone around you is like a genius, and no one knows it. And like this is like I feel that when we go through this, where you're like, oh, these people are so fucking good. Like it's like at some point, like everyone is going to be just like beamed up by like a rapture light. That's gonna just take them straight to the New York Times. That was where you kind of thought that everyone deserved to be.
Or the rapture light is never going to come because we've been left behind, and it's because we don't have the right kind of nepotism or enough of it, and so it's never going to happen. But at least then you still get to hang out with us in hour 3 of
exactly. Like worst case, you have a pretty good time, but it is like all of these covers, like everything we hear is just like week after week. Anyway, I say it every time because I'm astonished.
It is real. I mean, I remember when I used to hate on stuff, and that was really fun, and now I can't even do that anymore because it's also damn good. Up next
you've ruined Josiah's capacity for hate.
Exactly. Here's Forever My Frasier, Sweet Southern Nights, and Mysterious Tales of Burning Out. Honestly, I have never watched Frasier, so maybe this is I don't know what to expect here, but here we go.
Well, they've apologized for Martin being a cop, Frasier's dad, and expressed their support for the Chaz in Seattle. They kept running.
This is also so much weirder than the typical Frasier content.
Drive along these shit town lights. Like growing up, I was burning out. I stepped in my door.
That was burning out. Great delivery.
Really good. I can't wait. Hopefully, Caleb, if you're listening, hopefully this one goes later on in the comp. And then I just can't wait to just come across. It's perfect for like the third quarter of a comp to just hear this like weird ass, vaguely Frasier related spoken word Green Day cover. It's very sick.
Totally.
Okay, I don't know who Shemp is. I think Shemp is new to Green May, but I remember last week's Shemp cover being fucking incredible. So
Yeah.
let's go with Shemp right now. So
That was fucking awesome.
I feel like
I love the vocal delivery and the like, I've never felt closer to someone's mouth.
it's true. I feel like they were maybe trying to do like a joking ska thing, and then the voice was obviously so in your face and blown out. But those two things together kind of made it sound like a mid to late period Strokes album cut, where you're like listening to a new Strokes album and you're like, this is actually pretty good. Why is everyone being so dumb about this? Like, it's pretty sick. So hell yeah. Shout out to Shemp, whoever you are. It's the mysterious Shemp.
This is going to be a situation where we're going to realize that it's very obviously one of our closest friends' last names.
It's Sarah Hughes.
Yeah, exactly.
EMP. Shemp. Okay, up next is Rich Spouse with Red and Blue Greens. Now, does that make sense to do with the song? I don't really know. Green Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's Green Day is the band. Wow. Let's go. What a bizarre. So that was made with DJ and Koala Sampler on iOS. But what a strange, like, first of all, the waveform is like a hard panned at the start. And then it comes in regular, but it's like with that halftime kind of John Bonham drums. And then it kicks into like being fast, but still with the halftime drums. Like,
yeah. Like, yeah, real, like, yeah, when the burnout breaks.
yeah. Which again, like, I think I've said this before, but I feel like why don't we hear things like this more often? Where someone does something halftime and sped up, or just something unpredictable with the technology. Like when people do remixes of stuff, it's still usually trying to adhere to some subgenre or like to impress some certain kind of club gatekeeper. Like what I'm saying is I don't think this was club, and I don't even know if it was pub. I think it was dub. It was dub. It was dub.
This is dub.
Yeah, it was dub. Okay, phew. I'm glad we figured that out. Okay. Quiche Grandparent. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Quiche Grandparent. Also, the one thing I do think is that sometimes when I look at all these band names, I'm like, are any of these real? Like, it seems like fake band names that you'd see on a Battle of the Bands poster in a CW TV show or something.
Totally, yeah.
In a great way.
Maybe they were like local to like wherever the set decorator was from. You know?
Yeah.
These are all the most exciting bands in you know, Chicoutimi.
This is Burn a Tonal, I think is how I should pronounce
Nice.
this. And it also says warning, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit just in case.
Yeah, I turned it down already too.
This one's 4 minutes and 19 seconds long, too. How you feeling? How you feeling with that horse trank right now, Sammy?
I gotta say, I'm feeling like that's the sort of stuff that makes me like feel the most like a horse. Like I can feel my new horse blood kind of, having a difficult mix with my human blood in those moments. It's very exciting.
Hey, you feeling like a horse everywhere right now?
Damn, man. Let's save that for the behind the paywall.
Okay, clusterfuck theory, 68% burnt out.
Okay, this is a Dillinger escape plan, Joe. You already predicted.
Exactly. That's because last week clusterfuck theory did Dillinger 4 and we missed it. But this does perfectly wrap up everything. I mean,
that's fucking unbelievable.
I gotta say, clusterfuck theory is an MVP of genre dalliances.
Yeah.
I mean, that is unbelievably good.
That is fucking awesome. I also definitely one of my go-tos when I'm like, I just want to put on some live set in the background while I look at my phone or whatever. I put on a lot of live Dillinger escape plan. 856 just put up some sick old Dillinger. That was fucking great.
That was so cool. That ruled. Damn. I can't wait to see what Clusterfuck Theory does next with next week's song, which you can only know about if you sign up for the Patreon because it's hidden in a newsletter at the very end that you only get at a certain... Too much explaining.
It's like a ring decoder, yeah.
Boggy Branch Ranch. Now that's a fun name to say. Boggy
Branch Ranch.
Now, welcome to Boggy Branch Ranch. Here's our cover of Burnout. Oh, yes. And 2 covers in a row that are a minute 55 long. It's all happening.
Oh my god.
The harms?
Oh my god.
Come on.
Rude, illegal, should be a crime. Probably still illegal in some states.
That was beautiful. Wood chips, Burnout.
Declare I don't care no more.
Yes.
I love this vibe.
This speaks to the shaggy part of the hair, I think, in the lyrics. Oh, even just saying shaggy. Sounds like milk music. So tight. I gotta turn it off or else I'm gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes if I keep listening to that. So.
Right, yeah, you bet. For your own health.
That's music to smoke cigs to. That was so good. Oh my god.
That was fucking awesome.
Which I guess I
love that vibe.
What is a cigarette if not a wood chip, really? That doesn't really work, but close enough. Gosh dang, a Burnout. Featuring clips of all the things I use to distract myself from being productive. A true ode to my own burnout tendencies. That's cool.
Sick.
I declare I don't care no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out boring room. My hair is shagging in my eyes, dragging my feet to hit the streets tonight. Drive along these shit.
So, to distract yourself from being productive, you just, have cool drums and synths all around you and make beautiful
Yeah, I guess
music?
that's it. Some of those sounded like recognizable electronic sounds. Maybe, again, there were
maybe a
two deep
game or
references
something.
first. Yeah.
What do you do
You're a
to
gamer.
distract yourself from being productive, Sam?
I mean, just do other productive things. I don't know. Fucking
Me too.
smoke
I feel like it
weed.
is kind of I just try to trick myself. Like when I don't want to do one thing, I think I'm distracting myself, but I'm actually doing the dishes, or vice versa.
Right.
It's just kind of I've tricked myself in this elaborate game.
Yeah. It's the classic game. I mean, these days, just reality TV. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I like to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater with the sound off, and I haven't had fun playing it for over a year. And I listened to It's a Beautiful Day in the Gulch which I highly recommend. Like, if you want to hear a podcast that's just two homies hanging out and you're sick of us being your homies, Beautiful Day in the Gulch, baby. Put it
New
on.
homies. New homies for everyone.
Okay, this is new music, Aaron, from before with Burnout Think Piece. I think Aaron used to be behind the paywall for Blink-155, and then she just rejoined, but like the day that covers were due. So this one was definitely a quick turnaround. I'm very excited. So this is called Burnout Think Piece.
I'm not growing up, I'm just burning
Oh, that's nice. I wish that was 20 minutes long.
Me too. Yeah, maybe we need to loop it or something. But
Yeah, like that feels like something that I would definitely be like, oh, do I like ambient music?
It sounded to me like kind of like deep into the B-side of Sauna by Mount Eerie, like a lesser Mount Eerie record that is secretly fucking amazing. That was so beautiful.
Hell yes.
And
yeah,
it was a
gorgeous.
Green Day cover also is something to remember about it. It was a
important,
Green Day
yeah.
cover for our podcast somehow is what these are. It's really funny and weird. Beautiful.
It is. Yeah, that's...
You ever just just zoom out even just a tiny bit and be like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I try not to, but I might at some point I might have to just like to see how much of a horse I've turned into.
Well, I know you do have Zoom fatigue, Sam. Part of Burnout, Generation Burnout. The Fake Plodes is next, featuring King Bob.
I declare I don't care no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out boring room. My hair is shagging in my eyes, dragging my feet to hit the street tonight.
This song works in any format. This song is invincible.
I'm growing up, I'm just burning out, and I stepped in line to walk amongst the...
Does that sound like the Violent Femmes to you?
Yeah, but it's like the Violent Femmes were really good.
Yeah, they're annoying, right? Can we admit that this late?
I think so. Yeah, we're at the point. This is like a safe
It's
opinion.
like truth
section of the
time.
pod.
Violent Femmes, what's the deal?
Why coast to coast AM now?
Why do people pretend to like that? It's annoying. And this was not annoying, I agree, but it's just kind of like, I assumed that Violent Femmes must have a non-annoying song, and this reminded me
And
of
this
that.
is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Violent Femmes feels like, just to be really lazy about it, like very Gen X.
Yeah, true. Well, being lazy
We're just
is Gen
X.
X.
So fun. It's cool. They got a stand-up bass.
Oh my god, I didn't even read the next one yet. College
my
Dropout
God.
says, went for a Violent Femmes-ish vibe with this. How does this happen?
I don't know. Okay.
But this
Okay,
isn't...
this is awesome.
This is like beautiful lo-fi folk pop. Oh, it sounds so nice. I'm sorry, that does not sound anything like what I think Violent Femmes sound like, but I'm not sorry because that means I love it.
Yeah, I've heard like two Violent Femmes songs in my mind, like a real that's part of it, and there's been no.
But to be honest with you now, Sam, that's kind of why I thought you might like them, because I feel like you like that kind of music sometimes.
It always makes you think of the two guys in UHF, right?
Yeah. Or like if the B-52s were like folk punk.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so bad.
God.
I got a shiver from imagining that. No, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's rock, folk punk, obviously great. But never the twain shall meet.
I think Clown College Dropout is my favorite folk punk artist, to be honest. I'm putting out. I mean, there's a few contenders though in the Pod Nation, but we'll have to see. I think folk punk is the next genre to be rehabilitated. And I think we're getting it on the ground floor early with that. Up next is Soot.
Folk punk revival 2021.
So somehow this is Soot - Green May /HING. Is that the artists? Maybe there's a collaboration between. I'm not really sure. Anyways, HING stands for having investigated nothing's great, or holy intervention necessitates gob. I mean, this is just, there's a lot going on here, so I think we just got to listen. So they asked us to start at 47. Let's go. Those horns. I mean, this is not the straightforward rock cover that was promised, but it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. That is not straightforward. I don't feel like I was rocking in a straight line there.
No, absolutely not. I was vibing the fuck out in a great way.
Zigzag pattern.
That was beautiful. Okay, Daddy Long Arms featuring Hot Laundry. This is called What Burnout Would Sound Like from the Bathroom of a Pre-COVID House Party. This was not an actual house party because we take COVID seriously in this house. I recommend starting at 16 seconds for the full effect. What is going on? Everyone's got they don't want to start at the start, and that's fair. I respect it. Okay, here we go.
Ooh, Burnout. You know this song?
Yeah.
I saw Green Day play this before they released Dookie. Down the street. Way too cool.
Okay.
Hey, do you want to,
Amazing.
I want to know if that was real piss also.
Yeah, I hope it must have been authentic. It had to be authentic.
I mean, sure, you can fake the sounds of a house party, but I don't think you can fake that kind of stream. You know what I mean?
No. Piss is, you gotta, there can't be any piss posers in the nation.
Real piss only in all of your covers, please. From now on. Yeah. We should have an all piss week where all the covers are just piss. Please don't let's not actually do that yet. At least.
It's okay.
Let's wait until the vibe is right. We'll do it all piss week. You know, I'll hint at it more, but
you'll know when it's piss week.
Exactly. All right. Up next is Avril Lavigne, one of my favorites, one of my favorite band names of all time. Yes. Also featuring Poli-Sci Alex. Adorable caption here. I was thinking that this would be my last Avril cover, kind of giving up on music as a whole because of general mental health stuff. But Poli-Sci Alex really stepped up and made this sound so much better than it deserves, which upped my spirits a ton. And now I'm rethinking that mindset. So huge thanks to him for doing this. Also, this song almost entirely rips off the song "Hidden History" by Vaccine. All right, let's go.
Here, toast.
To success and nothing less.
To your new album.
Yeah.
New album. Called Father of All Mother.
Oh my God.
Incredible. Yeah, don't give up on music.
Please, we need the Avril Lavigne full length, which is going to be on a single-sided 7-inch with an etching on the other side.
Totally. Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That's so good. Okay, let's keep it moving though. Strings.
Strings.
Bringing out the acoustic.
Ooh. folk punk revival.
Oh my god. Nope, it's like some fucking Time to Weep.
In my smoked out boring room.
This is beautiful.
My hair is shaking in my eyes, dragging my feet to hit the street tonight, to drive along these shit town lights.
We gotta stop it, but I mean, instant, I guess, waves of nostalgia and happiness and sadness and every emotion under the sun, thanks to strings and the acoustic.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
It
wasn't quite folk punk though. I did not feel like I was in the living room after the house show.
I don't think folk punk can make you feel sad. I think the most sort of, and not that being sad is a negative emotion, but on that spectrum of emotions, the most that folk punk can make you feel is annoyed, I think. But not sad.
Right. That's the closest that it gets to that emotion.
Okay, Teen Jazz says, Green Day to you. I can only assume at this point in the episode there's pathetic type enthusiasm for the song. Correct. The covers have all added to the sheer joy of this project. Correct. Here's hoping I don't screw that up. I mean, is he taunting us, you think?
Interesting.
Whoa. I don't think we've heard Teen Jazz go post-punk yet. So good, and also the art that was submitted with it is fantastic.
Oh shit!
Teen Jazz, another masterpiece from the Teen Jazz man himself.
From the Teen Jazz universe.
Yeah, the TJU, exactly. Okay.
When I try to open up art, I always end up fucking up like the entire playback system. So I tried to do just then, and something went awry. I'm going to take your word for it that it's good and see it on Monday.
Perfect. I mean, you could also right click on it and open it in a new window, but I don't want to browser splain to you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but sometimes I accidentally hit one of the other buttons. Okay. Oh, that is really good. that's really, really
I think
good.
it was worth it for this little.
It was worth the extra effort.
Teenage Stan Club, Earnout, Earnest Burn. So this is an earnest burnout called Earnout. No, that's already great. I'm loving that.
That's amazing.
I declare I don't care no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out boring room. My hair is shaggy in my eyes, dragging my feet to hit the street tonight. Drive along these shit town lights. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out, and I've stepped in line to walk amongst the yeah.
So what one of your bands does that sound like? Your buddies?
It just sounds like all of them, like in one. I got to say, Earn though is. I think we should really try to make that a thing.
I mean, absolutely. And once again,
I definitely did feel like I was arm in arm with my brothers at the fest.
It really does feel like it's not just that the song works as every genre. Like every time someone does something different with it, it sounds like that's how it was supposed to be all along. That's
totally it's completely transposable.
It's unbelievable. Okay, Jake Rolfe. Oh,
bark.
I took a break from promoting my band. Well, that's kind of a way of telling us that you have a band, but either way, to contribute to the Green Day festivities, Green Day basically taught me guitar. So I thought I'd honor that by making this fully electronic, aggressively synth bass, heavy pop track. No guitars, no band members, no analog tape machines, no fucks given. Let's go, Jake Rolfe. Yeah. Oh.
I declare I don't care no more. Burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out boring room.
My hair is shagging
This
in
is
my
sick.
eyes. Track my feet to hit the street tonight. To drive along these shit town lights. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out. And I stepped in line to walk amongst the dead.
That rules. That's so good. I feel like, yeah, Jake Ralph is another person where I'm like, someone get this dog a record deal already. You know what I mean? Sign up this pooch.
Yeah, it's not right. That dog deserves a forever home at a record label.
A forever home. The Golden Umbrella stands with Burnout. So this was from one of the tracks that didn't make the Fake Fun album that's on our Bandcamp, which I can't explain right now. I will literally have a complete nervous and emotional breakdown if I try to explain the Fake Fun album that is on our Bandcamp. But that's from this person who, this is the last of the tracks that weren't on that. 143 for the final chorus breakdown. So I think this is a song that was written before it was repurposed as a Burnout cover. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See, that to me feels like it could be in like an Angels and Airwaves type Tom DeLonge thing. But again, I could never hear something like that exist in a Green Day song.
No, totally not.
I feel like,
I mean, I want to hear that breakdown again now.
yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I loved it, but it's just like, there's something, we're kind of getting closer to fully understanding the DNA where it's split between Green Day and Blink-182. And I feel like that's a part of the key. Okay, Nick Ibis, Burning, and then it says Boring Room in parentheses. I wanted to do a bedroom guitar cover because the song feels so deeply teenage to me. It's too hard to move my guitar amp. It's nowhere near my computer, so I had to run all my XLR mic cables together to one enormous cable that goes down a flight of stairs from one end of the house to the other. And when I put my guitar strap as low as it can go, it's a detail I genuinely think you can hear. And then his computer glitched, so there's parts where it skips around randomly as well. So this is
awesome,
perfect teenage energy already, even in the description.
Yes.
Man, this is a really like advanced and cool chord progression in this song too. I can't wait to hear the skipping around, but I will wait for it right now.
Yeah, we can skip around to it, but yeah, you got to prolong that magic.
That's beautiful. Okay, we're getting there.
Yeah, that was fucking perfect.
Earn asked them, Burnout, Central Texas Suburban Ennui Edition. I got the guitar out for the first time in years. It's got the same strings as when I got it in 8th grade. How are these always together? How is it always like this? They're always right.
There's a lot of pod magic in the air.
There really is a lot of pod magic in the air. I don't think that's just your horse tranquilizer speaking, to be honest.
No. Did you see though that my exit time was 1:55 p.m. man? Even the horse tranquilizer.
I don't care no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out, boring room.
See, this does have like teenage earnestness to it, but also like the world weariness of an adult. So it's kind of a perfect vibe.
Tonight, drive along these shit town lights. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out.
It kind of sounds like Silver Jews or something. So good.
The consistency of sort of like what this recalls for people and like what they want to capture. Like, we talk about this a lot, like what are the angles that people see the songs from? And I think the way that this resonates with people in such a specific nostalgic way, and then how they choose to like explore and express that is so interesting.
It's so cool. And also we just passed the 155 mark. Congratulations. Although I think never mind, because of the guest spot. You know what? I shouldn't have said anything. Dead Nephew.
That's true generally.
Dead Nephew with his first submission since Gobuary. Different vibe this time. Shout out to Dead Nephew. Oh, I love this vibe.
Ridiculous.
I have a feeling things are going to come in on this one too. There's still a lot of time left, and I feel like this Dead Nephew's resurrection is going to really pay off. Okay, so
yeah, that felt like that nephew had places to go.
We've made it to the Poli-Sci Alex one, and I think you did correctly identify.
Oh my God! This is the redemption for the D4 thing last week.
Yeah, so this is the Burnout of Wilhelm Fink. Poli-Sci Alex says, I got my drum kit out to help someone else with their cover. Yes, Avril Lavigne. Recorded a track for myself too. Sadly, the only current guitar I have is an acoustic, so I had to make do. First time recording live drums in about 12 years. Well, we've already heard you on Avril Lavigne, Poli-Sci Alex. So I'm going to start at 120, which is where he wants us to start. So this is called The Burnout of Wilhelm Fink. Whoa, sick drumming.
I mean, like that kind of sounded like folk punk too.
It did, and also it just sounded completely unhinged, like a man having a breakdown in his garage, which I loved.
Like that was
dub.
That was fucking awesome.
That was totally dub. And I forgot about the Ballad of Wilhelm Fink, but we must have talked about it when we talked about all the short music songs.
We talked about it in like hour 4
a million
music journey that we went on.
That ruled though, Poli-Sci. So you got to keep drumming, bro, because that sounds really good. Let's get some more drum covers. Okay, Mine Shoulder is what this is called. I don't think we did mention this, but you did mention Norm Macdonald. But apparently this song was in Dirty Work. That's very sick. Everything
is that a link to the scene? Should we watch it real quick?
Yeah, should we? Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah, just because like I don't remember that. I mean, I've seen Dirty Work quite a bit. Okay, I got it and watched.
Okay, I actually closed it. 1 sec.
Buy and sell.
There we go. I'm in here.
Buy and sell. Would you just look at the help wanted section? Hang on, I'm looking at the buy and sell ads. Maybe we can sell something. Just look for a job. All right.
Oh, it's in the background. Yeah.
Movie line coming up.
I need to rewatch this movie. He just leaves.
You're supposed to keep driving.
Artie's mooning them.
It's a good movie.
Oh, that's so good. Wow.
How's Artie doing these days?
Yeah, that's something I haven't really been keeping up with. I'm not sure, but thank you already for that, Mine Shoulder. And then let's hear your cover, Mine Shoulder. So here's Mine Shoulder. I just can't stop saying it. Mine Shoulder. Ooh. Sick. the chugging guitars really add some.
Holy shit! Yeah,
that was so sick. Damn.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Okay,
it does earn the name Mind Shoulder, which is
really did, which is a lot to live up to. I mean, I was already in a good mood from watching a clip from Dirty Work, but you know,
yeah, we were in the right mindset.
Okay, DRMC, Dude Ranch Means Come, Burnout. What reference will it be that's going to go over our head? Oh yes! Okay, this is my straight up favorite NoFX song, other than The Decline, but. Maybe I like this more than The Decline.
Really? This is fucking good. You should do a NoFX song.
I know.
I declare I don't care no more. I'm burning up and out and growing bored in my smoked out boring room.
I mean, unbelievable.
I really want to hear all of that.
Unbelievable. Okay,
Yeah.
there's two left. This is.
Oh my God.
I'm Too Sad to Tell You. Back again. Who has written? If you're curious about the name, it's stolen from the title of a piece by the Dutch artist Bas Jan Ader, which I knew that all along. I was just playing along with it. I knew that it was from the Dutch artist Bas Jan Ader. Obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So here's I'm Too Sad to Tell You with Burnout. Ooh, and this one's 17 minutes long. Yes. I mean, that's just 30 seconds of static, but I love it, and I love to see where it goes. I want to skip it. I kind of want to listen to all 17 minutes with you right now in your horse tranquil state.
I would be interested to see how I feel by the end of it, for
your
sure.
horse tranquility that you're experiencing right now.
Exactly. The tranquility that only horses know is now mine.
All right, this is the final one, and this is really exciting. This is somebody named Rowan Suo, who says, "Hi, it's my first time submitting. I interpolated the chords from Burnout into, well, this. It's a bit of an experiment, not sure if it worked." Okay. It's someone's first time submitting. They've tried a bit of an experiment. They're not sure if it worked. We're brimming with pod magic right now. The stage is set for this to be incredible. I mean, this has already been one hell of a week. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hear. And it's a first-time submitter. I mean, welcome, Rowan. Thank you so much for joining.
Rowan?
It's so sick to have you here. I can't wait. I'm almost afraid in a good way about to hit play with this. Should we do it?
Let's do it.
This is making me almost get emotional. It's so beautiful.
I mean, you called it, but I don't think this is what I expected.
It's so perfect.
I mean, this is brand new waves. And that's Burnout.